Chapter 2290. People often said that old people were like children. Once a person got old, he or she would regain their youthfulness and become more childish. It made people angry and amused at the same time. It was also very difficult to communicate with them. "Grandma, if you don't want to eat, I won't eat either. I'll starve with you. I know that starving will affect my growth, but for you, I'd rather not grow taller." Little Bean expressed her determination. "Oh, my little baby, you can't do that. You usually have a good appetite and can eat at least 2 meat buns. You only ate 1 today. No, you have to eat." Hearing her granddaughter's words, Lady Chen's heart softened and she tried to coax Little Bean. "No, Grandma, I won't eat. I won't eat," Little Bean insisted. "Good girl, Grandma will eat. You have to eat before it gets cold. Your stomach can't take it." Then, Lady Chen immediately picked up the meat buns and drank the millet porridge. Little Bean gave Chen Chu an okay sign, meaning that she was done. Pudding said slowly, "Grandma, let me tell you, Uncle Tang is a very nice person. Ever since we could talk and walk, we've been playing with him. He's Handsome Sue's best friend, just like Uncle Wei. Think about it, birds of a feather flock together. Someone who can hang out with Handsome Sue and Uncle Wei can't be a bad person. You're overthinking it this time." "Huh? Is that so?" Lady Chen looked at Chen Chu and then at Huamin in confusion. Yes. Tang Chuan is Su Yu's childhood friend. Chen Chu and I have known each other for years. Mom, he's not what you think. Plus, second uncle knows that he's pursuing Ning because he went to the States and stayed with second uncle for more than a month." "Really? Why didn't your second uncle mention it?" Lady Chen was dumbfounded. "Second uncle is so busy. He doesn't have time to talk to you about this." Chen Chu lowered his head and drank the lemon tea. Chen Chu's father glanced at his wife and said, "See, I told you. Second brother knows what he's doing. We don't have to worry about him. So, Grandma, don't worry. Auntie won't be with a nobody," Pudding said. "If that's the case, then I'll be relieved." Old Madam Chen finally stopped being pretentious. Huamin gave his 2 daughters a thumbs up. After breakfast, they walked out of the house and went to the parking lot to pick up the car. Huamin smiled and said, "Hubby, your daughter is really amazing. The moment she stepped in, she immediately settled our mother." "It's all thanks to my wife," Chen Chu complimented. "No, it's your family's genes that are good. No, it's because my wife is a genius. That's why they have a high EQ. Let's stop praising each other. If we don't drive out now, we'll be late." Then, Huamin wrapped her arms around Mr. Chen's neck and kissed him gently on the corner of his mouth. Then, they got into their respective cars and left. "What are you looking at? Why are you so engrossed?" Pudding walked over and saw Little Bean staring blankly out the window. "Daddy and Mommy are already so old, but they're always showing off their love. It makes us single dogs suffer," Little Bean sighed. "Calm down, you're only 4 years old. Even if you fall in love at 16, you'll still be single for 12 years, Pudding added. Little Bean was immediately hurt by her words. "Sis, if Daddy and Mommy have a second child in the future, do you think our status will drop?" Little Bean suddenly asked. "What do you think?" Pudding asked calmly. "I think Daddy will love us more. After all, it's a father's nature to love his daughters. But Grandpa, Grandma, and Mommy will probably love us more. Just thinking about this makes me so annoyed." Little Bean cupped her chubby little face. "I don't think so." Pudding smiled and sat down next to Little Bean. "Oh, So, my awesome sis, what do you think? Little Bean tilted her head and looked at her sister with interest. Chapter 2291. I think that after Daddy and Mommy have a second child, we'll have another scapegoat. Ha 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 ha. Sis, you're so smart. Little Bean laughed out loud after hearing her sister's words. Am I wrong? Haven't you noticed that Daddy and Mommy rely on us a lot? No matter what they can't solve, they always make us their scapegoats. For example, what happened at breakfast this morning? It's not like you don't know how scary Grandma is when she's angry. We were just sent to the gunpoint. Pudding bit her lip, feeling wronged. Ha! Sis, now that you mention it, I think you're right. Little Bean suddenly realized. So, I want to have a second child as soon as possible so that we can share the burden. Pudding proudly crossed her arms in front of her chest, looking serious. Little Bean lowered her head and put her two index fingers together as if she was thinking of a bad idea. Sis, you're right. So, I think we should help Daddy and Mommy have a second child as soon as possible. What do you think? That's Daddy and Mommy's business. How can we help? Pudding was a little dumbfounded. We can poke all the condoms in their room with needles. That way. Little Bean said with a straight face. Pudding almost choked when she heard this. Ahem, sis, are you okay? Little Bean didn't seem to realize how shocking her words were. Little Bean, you're going to kill me. I really regret not bringing a lightning rod when I talked to you, Pudding sighed. You still haven't told me what my idea is. It's pretty bad. I'm just wondering how you came up with such a dirty idea. No wonder Auntie Lingling and Auntie Xiaowei said you were dirty. Even Gao Buiyuan was led astray by you when he played with you a few times. What's going on in that little head of yours? At this moment, Pudding suspected that she and Little Bean weren't born from the same mother. She suspected that the nurse in the room next door had misdiagnosed her. Why were their personalities so different? Come on. I'm just trying to think of a way. Little Bean looked innocent. You can't think of a way like that. No, it won't work. Pudding quickly waved her hands. Why not? You don't dare. Are you afraid that Mommy will beat us up? It's not about whether I beat him up or not. A second child. Let nature take its course. Do you think giving birth is as simple as a hen laying eggs? One a day. Do you think it's for fun? Okay. I won't say it anymore. Little Bean was still feeling wronged. The topic of his parents wanting a second child came to an end. However, after listening to Pudding's analysis, Little Bean had a new perspective on this matter. She seemed to be hoping that Daddy and Mommy would have another baby. If it was a little sister, she could pick up their clothes. If it was a little brother, then he could take the blame for them. It was perfect. Time flies, and it's the weekend. Early in the morning, everyone began to pack their things and went to Zhu Lingling's house. Zhu Lingling and Gao Ran moved to a new house because of Gao Ran's work. This house with 3 bedrooms, 2 living rooms, and 2 bathrooms was 180 square meters. It was located in a high-end neighborhood near the Municipal Public Security Bureau. The people who lived here were all high-ranking officials and dignitaries. Because the Municipal Public Security Bureau often had unexpected cases, Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling moved in a year ago to make it more convenient for them to deal with cases in the middle of the night. The interior was very luxurious. Chapter 2292. The family of 3 was used to living here. Zhu Lingling's family was the only one without a nanny because Gao Buiyuan was already in kindergarten. Gao Ran was working, and Zhu Lingling had her own shop, so she was able to take care of the father and son's daily needs. Everyone felt at ease at their house because the neighborhood was very strict and was close to the Municipal Public Security Bureau. Therefore, there wouldn't be any reporters following them. Huamin's family was the first to arrive. The family of 4 drove a black Bentley and slowly drove into the neighborhood. Since it was a private party, the family of 4 was dressed very casually. Huamin and Qin Chu wore matching outfits, which was rare for them. Huamin's outfit was beige with English letters on the front. It looked very trendy. Qin Chu's outfit was navy blue with the same English letters. They both wore white limited edition sports shoes from a famous brand. Pudding and Little Bean, on the other hand, were wearing red sportswear and had the same English alphabet as their parents. As soon as they walked in, Zhu Lingling exclaimed, "Wow, this is the first time I've seen you guys in matching outfits. You look so cool. This is the first time you've seen Mr. Qin dressed so casually, right?" Huamin laughed. "Yes, most of the time I've seen him in suits. Auntie Lingling, do you think my daddy looks better in a suit or casual clothes?" Little Bean asked. "Your daddy is so handsome that he looks good even in a beggar's outfit." Zhu Lingling joked. "Are you praising my husband, or are you praising my husband? Or are you complimenting my husband?" Huamin couldn't help but laugh. "Of course I'm complimenting your husband. Don't you know how handsome your husband is?" Zhu Lingling pouted. At this moment, Pudding asked with cold humor, "So, Auntie Lingling, do you want to switch husbands with my mommy?" Pfft. Zhu Lingling almost choked. "Pudding, are you trying to sell your daddy out?" Huamin tilted his head and smiled. Qin Chu, on the other hand, didn't want to get involved in this boring topic with them. He walked directly to the refrigerator and took out a can of iced cola. Then, he walked to Gao Ran's room while drinking. Gao Ran was actually playing games in front of the computer, coming. Gao Ran was in the middle of the fight. He didn't even turn his head as he spoke. The great bureau chief is actually playing online games at home so early in the morning. How unbelievable. Qin Chu leaned against the windowsill and teased. "So what if I'm a bureau chief?" A bureau chief is also a human being. He needs to eat and shit too. This is my private time, understand? After saying that, Gao Ran even pulled Qin Chu over. Come. Open my laptop. Let's have a match." "No," Mr. Qin refused. "Why?" Gao Ran was dumbfounded. "Because your game is too crappy," Mr. Qin said proudly. "Fuck, you're humiliating me." "No, we have to have a one-on-one duel." Come. Gao Ran didn't want to admit defeat. In the end, Mr. Qin couldn't refuse Gao Ran's invitation. He slowly walked over and opened Gao Ran's laptop. The 2 grown men began their battle for supremacy in online games. Ever since Qin Chu graduated from high school, he rarely played online games. However, he knew all the popular online games. He was a genius. Therefore, he beat Gao Ran over and over again. However, Gao Ran refused to accept it. After being beaten over and over again, he continued to look for more. Huamin took off his jacket and asked Zhu Lingling, "They'll be here soon. Why don't we go over the menu first?" Chapter 2293. There's no need to research. I've bought a lot of vegetables and meat. We'll improvise when the time comes. You can just pick some ingredients to cook. Anyway, we're not here to eat. We're just here to have fun. Zhu Lingling wasn't a person who cared about trifles. When she bought groceries, she almost carried the entire supermarket and didn't choose carefully. This was even more difficult for a Virgo like Huamian. She was a perfectionist. You're putting me in a difficult position. Huamin complained with her hands on her hips. Ha! Don't worry. We still have a lot of time. Take your time. Oh, I'll give you an apron. Then, Zhu Lingling took out a small floral apron and put it on Huamin. She instantly turned into a cook. The two women went into the kitchen and began to study the menu for lunch. Pudding sat in the living room and turned on the TV. She was watching the speeches of several stock market experts on the finance channel. Sis, let's go, Pudding said with a smile. Where to? Pudding was confused. To find Gao Buiyuan. Didn't you hear Auntie Lingling say that Gao Buiyuan is still in bed? That's why we have to go. Let's see if we can make him walk out naked or something, Pudding said shamelessly. Then go by yourself. Hearing this, Pudding was even more reluctant to go. What's the point of watching TV? A bunch of self-righteous experts bragging. It's so boring. It's better to listen to Uncle Tang brag. Ha! Pudding seemed to be bored by her sister watching TV. Everyone has their own interests. Don't interfere, okay? If you want to flirt with Gao Buiyuan, you can go by yourself. Pudding said slowly. Okay. I'll go by myself. Then, Pudding whistled like a female pervert, and walked towards Gao Buiyuan's room. Gao Buiyuan didn't have to go to kindergarten on the weekend, so he was allowed to watch some cartoons last night. He overslept this morning. Zhu Lingling didn't want to wake him up because she loved her son. So, when Pudding went in, Gao Buiyuan was still sleeping soundly. The blankets were all minions, so cute. Damn, he's so childish. Even his blanket is made of cartoon characters, Little Bean mumbled. She walked up to Gao Buiyuan and watched him snoring and drooling. She reached out and lifted the quilt. Then, he sneaked a peek and was slightly disappointed. What? You're wearing so much. It turned out that Gao Buiyuan was wearing a thin long-sleeved shirt and trousers. Little Bean's desire to expose him was instantly extinguished. Gao Buiyuan didn't seem to realize that his quilt was lifted. He turned over and went back to sleep. Little Bean's eyes darted around, and she suddenly had an idea. She first leaned over to Gao Buiyuan's ear and whispered, "Meow, meow, meow." Gao Buiyuan didn't respond. Woof, woof, woof. Little Bean barked like a dog again. There was still no response. Little Bean lost her patience and slapped Gao Buiyuan on the back. Then he quickly lowered his head and hid under the edge of the bed. Gao Buiyuan was startled by the sudden slap. He opened his eyes in a daze, but there was no one around. He was puzzled. Could it be that he was dreaming? He lay down and closed his eyes. Then, he was slapped again. This time, Gao Buiyuan felt it and sat up. He looked around, but there was still no one around. 3 seconds later, Gao Buiyuan rushed out, wailing like a ghost and howling like a wolf. Oh my god, there's a ghost! It turned out that the kid thought it was the ghost who was causing trouble, so he was so scared that he ran away. Chapter 2294. What's going on? Pudding was watching TV in the living room and shivered in fear. She immediately realized it must be her daughter's doing. Mom, come out. Where are you? Gao Buiyuan was so scared that he called out for his mom. Zhu Lingling heard her son scream and ran out of the kitchen, followed by Huamin. Then, Gao Ran and Qin Chu came out from the other room. They looked at Gao Buiyuan. Son, what's wrong? Zhu Lingling hugged the little boy. There's a ghost in my room. A ghost? Are you kidding me? Zhu Lingling frowned. Son, it's daytime. Did you have a nightmare? Gao Ran was also confused by his son's words. No, no, it's not a dream. It's real. I was hit by a ghost. I was scared to death. Gao Buiyuan was so scared that he hugged Zhu Lingling's neck tightly. I'll go check it out. Gao Ran was about to go when Pudding said, Uncle Gao, it's not a ghost. It might be. Little Bean playing with Buiyuan. In fact, Pudding felt embarrassed after she said that. Hearing Little Bean's words, Qin Chu and Huomin's faces fell, knowing their daughter must have caused trouble. Little Bean, come out. Huomin yelled in a serious tone. Mommy. Little Bean seemed to know she had caused trouble and walked out of the room with her head down. Qin Mumu. How dare you play with me? Gao Buiyuan was really angry. His lazy nap was disturbed by this girl and almost scared out of his wits. Little brother Buiyuan, I'm just playing with you. Why did you take it seriously? Little Bean began to act cute. How can you play with me like that? You're trying to scare me to death. Auntie Mian, I think Little Bean needs a beating. Gao Buiyuan knew why Little Bean was so scared of Huomin, so he complained. Mommy, I really didn't do it on purpose. I was just teasing him. Little Bean pouted. That's good. They're all kids. It's okay. Zhu Lingling tried to smooth things over, afraid that Huomin would teach Little Bean a lesson. Son, you are also finished. You were scared by a little girl. How can you be a police officer with your dad in the future? Gao Ran laughed. What does this have to do with being a police officer? She's purposely pranking me. This is unforgivable, humph. Obviously, the handsome guy was angry. Little Bean, why are you still standing there? Why aren't you apologizing to Buiyuan? Pudding saw her mother's expression and was afraid that her sister would be beaten. Hurry up and give her ideas. Hearing her sister's words, she immediately ran over and took Gao Buiyuan's hand. Buiyuan, I was wrong. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. I just wanted to get you up and play with us. I haven't seen you for a long time and I really miss you. Come on, give me a kiss. After saying this, Little Bean kissed Gao Buiyuan on the cheek. Gao Buiyuan's face immediately turned red. Obviously, he didn't have much confidence. Gao Ran nudged Qin Chu with his elbow. Look, look. Mr. Qin, your daughter is playing the honey trap at such a young age. Your son seems to enjoy it too, Qin Chu said calmly. Zhu Lingling couldn't help but chuckle. Son, Little Bean has already apologized. Don't hold it against her, okay? Let's be men. Look at Wei Yunchu, he doesn't make a fuss over nothing. You want to bribe me with a bag of crappy biscuits? No way. Do you want the chocolate? My mom handmade it. She bought all the ingredients herself. It's delicious and soft, Gao Buiyuan continued to tempt her. Chocolate. Seeing the food, Little Bean's heart softened. Here, have a bite. Gao Buiyuan continued to tempt her. I can't be so shameless. If I eat your chocolate, I'll forgive you. I don't want it. Humph, Little Bean clenched her teeth and insisted. Chapter 2296. I see. Forget it then. I'll give it to Pudding. You can have some alone time. I won't disturb you. With that, Gao Buiyuan turned to leave. Stop, what? Gao Buiyuan turned around. Are you apologizing or not? Gao Buiyuan, do you have any sincerity? Little Bean was not convinced. I am sincere. Otherwise, why would I try so hard to please you? I'm not that free. Then, open the chocolate for me. Little Bean said in a low voice. Okay. Gao Buiyuan smiled and opened the chocolate for her. Little Bean took it and took a bite. Then, she nodded with satisfaction. The taste is indeed different, have some. I have a lot more at home. Oh, I'll bring you some when I leave. Okay. Little Bean finally smiled. Looking at the two, Pudding was bored. She took out her phone and sent a WeChat message to Suyu. Pudding, handsome Sue, where are you? Suyu, what's up, Pudding? Pudding, it's so annoying to see someone showing off their love in front of me. Come and play chess with me. Suyu, Pudding, I'm at the airport. Pudding, the airport. Why are you at the airport? Suyu, I'm on a business trip. I'm invited to the annual meeting of my partner's company. Pudding, I thought you would come to the party today. For a moment, Pudding was very disappointed. Suyu, I know about the party. Your mom told me about it. Unfortunately, it's happening at the same time. I'm afraid I'll go next time. There will be a lot of parties anyway. Pudding, okay. Be careful. Tell them you're safe when you land. Suyu, I know. Kiddo, don't worry about me. Have fun with Pudding and Little Bean. Bully Wei Yunchu and Gao Buiyuan. Pudding, I don't need you to tell me that. Suyu, good job. After texting Suyu, Pudding went back to watching TV calmly. Not long after, everyone arrived one after another, and the room suddenly became lively. Ni Yang and Chen Jia bought a lot of delicious fruits and snacks for the children. Chen Jia was very virtuous and went straight into the kitchen to help. Ni Yang sat on the sofa and watched TV with Pudding. Then there was Wei Liao and Jiang Xiaowei's family of 3. Wei Yunchu had a good relationship with Gao Buiyuan because they were both boys. The 3 kids ran into Gao Buiyuan's room and played with all kinds of toy guns. Rick and Cece came next. They kept a low profile and also bought a lot of fruits and food. Rick went straight to the study to look for Qin Chu while Cece went into the kitchen to help wash the vegetables. The last to arrive were Tang Chuan and Qin Ning. The 2 of them arrived late. When they arrived, it was almost lunchtime. Lord Tang, you're late. No, you have to drink 3 cups as punishment. Wei Liao joked. No problem. I'll be fine even if I drink 6 cups. Ha, I came here today with a target that I'd like to fight. Tang Chuan said. What goal? Hua Min chuckled. Drink all of you until you're drunk. Tang Chuan waved his hand and bragged without thinking. Ha! Why do I feel like we're short of people? Where's Lord Su? Jiang Xiaowei didn't know that Suyu wasn't coming, so she asked curiously. Mian, didn't you tell Suyu? Zhu Lingling remembered that Hua Min told her to tell Suyu. I told him. Suyu said he had something to do today and won't be coming. I think he's on a business trip. Hua Min recalled. Pudding nodded. I just sent handsome Su a WeChat message. He's at the airport. Oh, I see. That's too bad. I thought it would be a big party. Zhu Lingling was a bit disappointed. It's good that Lord Su isn't coming. He's going to lie low for a while. Tang Chuan interrupted. What do you mean? Did Su get into trouble? Hua Min looked at Tang Chuan in confusion. Don't tell me you guys don't know about the rumor about Lord Su. Tang Chuan looked at everyone curiously. What rumor? Hua Min's heart skipped a beat and he asked seriously. Chapter 2297. It looks like you guys really don't know. Tang Chuan didn't say it was a rumor and continued to talk about it. Everyone's faces were filled with confusion. Uncle Tang, if you don't hurry up, I think my mom is going to flip out. Pudding said calmly. Everyone knew that Huamin cared a lot about Su Yu. Although she never had any romantic feelings for him, she was always grateful that he took care of her and her mother over the years. Therefore, she was always considerate of Su Yu. At first, Mr. Qin was slightly jealous, but later, he understood how his wife felt. Don't be like that, Vice Director Hua is scary when she flips out. I'll tell you, okay? Looking at your confused faces, I know that you guys don't know. Here's the thing. Rumors started in the industry that Lord Su doesn't like women anymore and likes men. When he was young, he had enough of women and now he's changed his taste. They even suspect that he's having an affair with his assistant, and... Tang Chuan cut the long story short. Everyone's reaction was, as interesting as it could get. Zhu Lingling, ha ha ha, really? That's so melodramatic. Do they really think this is the most melodramatic drama of the year? Homosexuality. Oh my god. Gao Ran, this is a bit ridiculous. Su Yu would be furious if he knew. Tang Chuan, he doesn't know yet. Who would dare to tell him? With his temper, he'd flip the world upside down. Plus, people in the industry only dare to talk about it in private. No one dares to offend him. Ni Yang, people in the company did talk about it, but they didn't dare to make a big deal out of it. They were afraid that President Su would get mad. All the celebrities seemed to know about it. I heard that a few of them tried to get close to President Su, but he rejected them all. Cece, but you can't say that President Su is gay, right? My sister also has a crush on President Su. She knitted him a scarf, but President Su rejected her. If he rejected her, it means he doesn't love her. It has nothing to do with being gay. These people really have nothing better to do. Even Cece started to stand up for Su Yu. Rick handed Cece a glass of water. Calm down, you're still injured, Rick reminded her in a low voice. Wei Liao, this happened a few years ago. Back then, there were rumors that young Master Su, young Master Tang, and I were all gay. After I got married, Tang Chuan started fooling around, and young Master Su confessed to Huamian. The rumors died down. Why are you bringing it up again? Jiang Shaowei, those people are just blindly making a fuss. We're sick of hearing these words. And they're hiding like they don't know where they are, and they're hiding they's like they're hiding. They's like, hiding there's like they're hiding and they've been spreading they read like that. Pudding said calmly. Then, she took out her phone and opened Weibo. Mian, what do you think? Zhu Lingling asked Huamin with a smile. Everyone knows that Su Yu isn't gay. There's nothing to say about it. Smart people don't believe in rumors. If people continue to cause trouble, Su Yu won't forgive them, Huamin said word by word. That's for sure. Our Lord Su's temper is like heaven and earth. It's a good thing he went on a business trip. Otherwise, who knows how angry he would be right now. Tang Chuan exclaimed. It happened a few days ago. Why didn't you tell us? Wei Liao complained. Chapter 2298. I didn't think much of it. I thought it would be over in a few days. Who knew that it would get more and more dangerous? Now, it's even related to An. Tang Chuan replied. Then, do you guys think that Su Yu took things too hard? And Qi Ning didn't know much about Su Yu. She only knew that Su Yu had been in love with his sister-in-law for years without any regrets. So, she guessed that Su Yu had a crush on her and couldn't get her, so he changed his mind and, before Huamin could refute Qi Ning's words, Qin Chu, who had been silent the whole time, spoke up. No, he won't do that no matter what. See, even President Qin, his love rival, is trying to clear Lord Su's name. Ning Ning, don't talk nonsense, okay? It's about Lord Su's innocence. I'll get someone to look into it later. Everyone, pay attention to the situation, Gao Ran concluded. Okay, let's not talk about this anymore. It's disgusting to hear. Let's eat. Then, Zhu Lingling stood up and began serving the dishes with Huamin and Qin Jia. In the end, a table full of sumptuous dishes was served, squeezing the large square table to the point that there was no space left. Wow, didn't you say there were 12 dishes? There are 20 dishes now, right? Tang Chuan asked greedily. There were 12 dishes, but Jia came. She's even more virtuous than us. She made a few more dishes. Everyone's in luck today. Mian said that Jia's cooking is really good. I can attest to that. She's really good. Ni Yang smiled. Don't be so smug. Keep a low profile, okay? Qin Jia pushed Ni Yang shyly, looking a little embarrassed. Just like that, everyone sat around the table and began eating. Huamin carefully picked out some dishes from a small plate and placed them on the coffee table on the other side. Pudding, Little Bean, Gao Buiyuan, and Wei Yunchu sat at another table. Eat well. Don't fight, don't cause trouble. Huamin looked at Little Bean worriedly. Huamin felt guilty at the thought of how she had pranked Gao Buiyuan in the morning and how he had been so scared. She didn't know why she and Mr. Qin, who were both so reserved, would give birth to such a naughty child. Moreover, it was a daughter. I know, Mommy. Don't worry. Little Bean promised like a little adult. As the host, I'd like to raise a glass of wine to thank everyone for coming to my house as guests. I really like this atmosphere. We'll have to gather more often in the future. Gao Ran seemed to be in a good mood. Come on, cheers. Tang Chuan was very good at livening up the atmosphere. The group of people began to eat and drink, and the atmosphere was very good. Even Rick, who was a man of few words, would smile from time to time when he was amused by everyone. Sis, why aren't you eating? Little Bean silently looked at Pudding, who was holding her phone. I'm fighting. Fighting? With who? Little Bean was confused. With those anti-fans on Weibo. They're so mean, they even went to Handsome Sue's Weibo to talk about it. Handsome Sue will be very sad if he sees it. Pudding was obviously unhappy. Little Bean leaned over to take a look. Sure enough, her sister and those anti-fans were having a heated argument. Sis, how about this? I suggest we eat first. After we're full, I'll fight them with you. What do you think? Little Bean persuaded. Chapter 2299. Yeah, Pudding. Eat first so that you have the energy to do other things. Gao Buiyuan was more obedient. He was the fattest of the 4 children. His body was very strong, he was never picky about food. Pudding was in a bad mood. She only replied quietly, I don't have much of an appetite. You 3 eat first. Gao Buiyuan held his bowl and whispered to Wei Yunchu, aren't you going to talk to your wife? After saying that, Gao Buiyuan was still worried that Wei Yunchu would be angry. Unexpectedly, he only blushed slightly and put a piece of shiitake mushroom into Pudding's bowl. Auntie Mian said that you like shiitake mushrooms. This is delicious. Try it. Wei Yunchu looked at Pudding. Thank you. Pudding picked up a piece of shiitake mushroom with her chopsticks and put it in her mouth. Then, she continued to scroll through Weibo. Tang Chuan was right. This incident had indeed started to spread on Weibo. Someone even took a lot of photos of Suyu Enin as his bodyguard and had to follow Suyu everywhere he went. Some people started to use this as an excuse. They wrote, Suyu is a pervert who likes male assistants. Ouch. Disgusting, Pudding couldn't stand it. Especially when Suyu was so sacred in her heart. She replied, shut up if you don't know how to talk. Don't ruin your good karma. Suyu was on a business trip and spent more than 3 hours on the plane. He didn't turn on his phone. Pudding sent him a WeChat message but he didn't reply. In fact, Suyu rarely went on Weibo. He used it because Huamin used it. After scrolling for a long time, Pudding finally saw someone who was willing to speak up for Suyu. It was Nie Lingxian, Cece's biological sister. She said on Weibo, please don't listen to the rumors. Suyu is a boss worthy of our respect. Imperial Star will always love him. Wise people don't believe in rumors. I hope this incident will end here. Otherwise, our company will hold them responsible. After she finished speaking, many female stars from Imperial Star followed suit and spoke up for Suyu. Pudding walked up to Ni Yang with her phone in hand and whispered, Uncle, say something for handsome Su. Hurry up, you're very popular. Okay. Ni Yang smiled and patted Pudding's little head. She took out her phone and reposted Nie Lingshuan's post. President Su, you've always been open and aboveboard. Some people shouldn't make things up out of nothing. Otherwise, we won't tolerate it. It was a short sentence, but it was sonorous and powerful, which was very much in line with Ni Yang's style. After he said that, Ni Yang's true fans immediately jumped out to defend Suyu. Pudding was still not in the mood to eat. After Gao Buiyuan and Little Bean finished eating, they ran into the house to play hide and seek. Pudding was still holding her phone, and she seemed to have something on her mind. Wei Yunchu was the same as his father. He wasn't a talkative person, so he didn't know what to say. After a while, he took out a lollipop from his bag and walked over to Pudding. Pudding, here, have a lollipop first. I'm not Little Bean. Why are you giving me a lollipop? Pudding asked with a smile. Because you're in a bad mood. Mommy said that when you're in a bad mood and feel bitter, you should eat a lollipop. It'll be sweet. There's nothing you can't get through in life. Wei Yunchu carefully recalled his mother's words and tried to comfort Pudding. It's okay. I just feel bad when I see those trash talk about handsome Su like that, Pudding said angrily. Pudding, do you really like Uncle Su? Wei Yunchu mustered up his courage and asked. Chapter 2300. Yes, of course I do. He's been with me since I was born. I'll love him for the rest of my life. To be honest, Wei Yunchu was quite upset by Pudding's confession. He was a little older than Pudding and Little Bean, so his EQ and IQ weren't low. Naturally, he knew a lot. Although he was still a kid, for some reason, he couldn't feel happy when he heard Pudding say that she liked Uncle Su. Then, will you marry him in the future? Wei Yunchu asked in a small voice. What did you say? Pudding thought she heard wrong, so she asked again. I said, you like Uncle Su so much, will you marry him in the future? Wei Yunchu asked again, a little absent-minded. Can you stop joking? Pudding couldn't help but laugh. What are you laughing at? Wei Yunchu felt that Pudding shouldn't laugh when he asked such a serious question. What are you talking about? I like handsome Su, but it's not that kind of love. Marrying him is a romantic relationship. It's not that easy to be a married couple. I like handsome Su because he's the man who treats me and Little Bean the best other than Dad. Even Uncle Jishin and Grandpa aren't as good as him. So, I like him a lot. You mean, you like Uncle Sue as an elder? Wei Yunchu seemed to understand now. Pudding nodded. So that's how it is. He muttered to himself and secretly pursed his lips into a smile. What are you laughing at? Pudding looked at Wei Yunchu curiously. Nothing, are you hungry? I'll get you some rice. I'm not hungry. I don't really want to eat, then, we can go to the study. I heard Uncle Gao has a lot of books. Wei Yunchu suggested. That's a good idea. Let's go. Pudding was still a kid, so she immediately followed Wei Yunchu to the study. Tang Chuan looked at the four kids having fun and deliberately teased them. Big brother, big sister, someone wants to hit on our twins, shameless. Who's your big brother and sister-in-law? Don't call me that. Tang Chuan, can you be a little shameless? Tang Chuan called Huamin and Qin Chu's sister-in-law and brother in front of so many people, making Qin Ning very embarrassed. Am I wrong? That's the truth. Not yet. Qin Ning corrected her. It will be in the future. Sooner or later, it will be. Tang Chuan began to act shamelessly again. Gao Ran looked at his son and Little Bean and said with a smile, my son has forgotten the pain after the scar healed. He forgot that he was almost scared to death by Little Bean this morning. He's my wife, of course she won't hold a grudge. Zhu Lingling teased. Huamin chuckled. You guys sure are strong-willed. How dare you marry our Little Bean? I'm not trying to scare you guys, but Qin Datong and I can't control Little Bean when she gets wild. Don't worry, we'll have to return the goods if something goes wrong. We'll never return the goods, huh? Don't worry about it. My family likes girls with personality. Zhu Lingling laughed. It seems that marrying Pudding suits our Yunchu's personality. Both of them are introverted. Maybe they'll be together in the future. What do you think, honey? Jiang Xiaowei said as she leaned on Wei Liao's shoulder sweetly. Chapter 2301. Yeah, I agree with my wife. With Pudding's IQ and EQ, our family business will be even better than GK. Wei Liao said proudly. He seemed to be very satisfied with this marriage. You guys are thinking too much. It's just our parents' wishful thinking. It'll be great if they can stay like this when they grow up, but if one of them chooses someone they like, all our efforts will be in vain. Gao Ran reminded them. It's okay. Let nature take its course. Haha, it'll be great if it works out. Even if it doesn't, they'll still be very good friends. Jiang Xiaowei was very optimistic. Oh right, when are you two getting married? Hurry up and have a baby. Wei Liao joked as he looked at Tang Chuan and Qin Ning. Hurry up, don't worry. Watch me. Fuck off, don't talk nonsense. Qin Ning secretly stepped on Tang Chuan's foot under the table. Ouch, my lady, can you be gentler? Are you trying to murder your husband? With this pair of clowns around, the atmosphere was very good. Huamin suddenly remembered the couple beside him. When are you two planning to have a baby? Since you're still young, you can have a baby first and then rest for a while. Yeah, we were thinking the same thing. Chen Jia nodded shyly. Rick, what about you guys? When will you have good news? Tang Chuan asked Rick with a smile. Cece immediately felt embarrassed and stood up awkwardly. I need to go to the bathroom, why are you running away? Geez, you're even thinner than our Ning Ning, Tang Chuan teased. Cece and I won't think about the wedding for now. We'll talk about it after we've dealt with some urgent matters, Rick answered seriously. Everyone continued to drink and drink. Huamin stood up. I need to go to the bathroom too. You guys drink first. When Huamin came to the bathroom, Cici was combing her hair. Sister Mian. Cici smiled dangerously when she saw Huamin. How are your wounds? Huamin asked. Very good, I don't feel any pain anymore. Even if I press lightly, it won't be a big problem. I'm still young, so I'll definitely recover quickly. Don't worry about me. Huamin nodded. Did Rick say anything about taking you to America? Cici smiled sweetly. Yes, I did. What do you think? Of course I want to be with him. To be honest, I've been living like a ghost without him for the past few years. Sister Mian, I'm not afraid that you'll laugh at me, but I really, really love Rick. I don't want to be separated from him anymore. So, I understand. What about your family? Did they agree to let you go abroad? My family is used to me being abroad, but my sister didn't agree. She was afraid that I'd be unfamiliar with the place. She tried to talk me out of it, but you know my temper. I'm willing to do anything for love. I'm even willing to give up my life. You might think that I'm a disappointment, but that's just who I am. Cici said without much confidence. She didn't even dare to look up at Huamin's eyes. Cici, don't be nervous. I'm not blaming you or laughing at you. I'm just worried about your safety. You should know what Rick does for a living, right? I know, he told me everything. Okay, then you should know how dangerous it is in America, where guns are legal, right? Huamin asked seriously. Chapter 2302. I know. Cici nodded heavily. It seemed like she had thought about this a long time ago and had made up her mind. So, I wanted to tell you to take good care of yourself when you get there. Don't run around. Rick has a lot of enemies and someone might try to harm you at any time. You have to stay calm. Okay, I will. Thank you, Mian. Okay, don't be so polite with me. If you need any help, just call me. Although I'm in China, Mr. Qin has been in the States for many years. Second uncle also has some status over there. I'm sure he'll take care of you. Okay. Let's go back and sit down. Don't keep everyone waiting. Then, Huamin pulled Cici back to their seats. Okay. Now that we're back, let's start the game. Tang Chuan asked. What game? Huamin was confused. Drinking game. I have a really fun one here. We have a lot of people, so it'll be really fun. Let me tell you, no one is allowed to cheat. Whoever loses will have to drink to their heart's content. It was obvious that Tang Chuan was very happy today. He kept livening up the atmosphere. Everyone was in a good mood as well. Come on, let's see who's who. Zhu Lingling rolled up her sleeves, looking like a tough woman. Mian and I are good at playing games with our brains. Come on, bring it on. Jiang Shaowei was also very drunk. When she said this, she raised her wine glass and knocked it on the table. Hey, young Master Wei, your sister-in-law is in the zone today. Tang Chuan smirked. Indeed, it's been a long time since I've seen her face so red from drinking. Now that you mention it, I remember that when young Master Wei chased her, they fell in love at the table. Ni Yang said with a smile. Yes, I'm the witness. Sister-in-law is really a huge drinker. She almost drank Master Wei to death. Tang Chuan stood up excitedly and told everyone about the scene when Wei Liao chased after Jiang Shaowei, making everyone laugh. Alright, let's not talk about the two of us anymore. Do you still want to play the game? Jiang Shaowei was also embarrassed and urged Tang Chuan. Play, we must play. Come, I will first explain the rules to you. You must listen carefully. Don't say that I didn't explain clearly to the loser. Let me tell you, I will not be the scapegoat. Cut the crap. Hurry up, Tang Chuan. Everyone is waiting. Why are you so slow? Qi Ning's alcohol tolerance was not bad. After a dozen beers, not only was she not drunk, but she was also more relaxed and in a good mood. Listen to me, everyone. When I say 1, 2, 3, and the game starts, I will say, everyone, let's drink. You just have to cooperate with me and say, yes. For example, if I say Chuan Chuan wants to buy Ning Ning a drink, Ning Ning must say, Ning Ning doesn't know how to drink. Then I will ask, who can drink? Ning Ning can point at anyone and name them. During this process, you are not allowed to slow down or make a mistake. Do you understand? That's it. It's that simple. Jiang Xiaowei looked at Tang Chuan with disdain. Seeing how happy he was, she thought it would be a difficult drinking game. Yeah, it's that simple. But you have to be careful, it's easy to make a mistake. Tang Chuan smiled. I'm the best at drinking games. You kids are no match for me. Zhu Lingling said proudly. Chief Gao, your wife seems to be high. Will she fuck you tonight? Hua Min laughed. Dr. Hua, is it okay for you to be so dirty? Gao Ran was speechless. Don't talk nonsense. Come on, I can't wait. I'm going to fuck you animals today. Zhu Lingling looked like she was ready to go all out. She didn't want to leave anyone alive. Immediately, everyone's enthusiasm and excitement were aroused, setting off the climax of the whole scene. Chapter 2303. Then I'll go first, because I was the one who suggested it. Okay. Tang Chuan recommended himself excitedly. Okay, you go first, hurry up. Zhu Lingling couldn't wait to give it a try. Ever since she gave birth to Gao Buiyuan with Gao Ran, Zhu Lingling had been taking care of her husband and her son. She was bored to death. It had been a long time since she had a gathering with her friends where she could relax, especially in her own home. Therefore, she was in the right mood. Everyone, please drink. Tang Chuan said. Everyone immediately clasped their fists and said in unison, yes. Chuan Chuan, please drink with Chuan Chuan. Tang Chuan was smart enough to provoke Mr. Qin as soon as he came up. Luckily, Mr. Qin reacted quickly and immediately replied, Chuan Chuan can't drink. Then who can drink? Tang Chuan asked. Chuan Chuan can drink. Qin Chu threw the hot potato back into Tang Chuan's hands. Hua Min almost spat out his drink when he heard the two words Chuan Chuan. After knowing Mr. Qin for so many years, this was the first time he heard that he had such a sexy name. Ha ha ha. Chuan Chuan is a good name, it suits Mr. Qin's temperament. Zhu Lingling couldn't help but laugh. Hey, Lingling, can you be serious? Don't interrupt, Chuan Chuan can't drink, then who can drink? Qin Chu asked immediately. Ran Ran can drink. Tang Chuan began teasing Gao Ran again. Gao Ran froze for a few seconds, not realizing that he was Ran Ran. Honey, what are you thinking? Is it your turn? Zhu Lingling nudged Gao Ran. I don't think I'm used to this new name. Gao Ran was also confused. Ha ha ha, I'll drink as punishment. Tang Chuan was so happy that he was bubbling. Gao Ran broke out in a cold sweat and rubbed his forehead. He picked up a cup of wine and drained it in a straightforward manner. The entire audience applauded. Ran Ran. It's your turn. Tang Chuan felt goosebumps all over his body when he called her Ran Ran. Ah. Tycoons, please drink. Yes. Everyone cupped their fists. Ran is treating Lingling to a drink. Lingling knows how to drink. Finally, it was Zhu Lingling's turn. She was very excited and wanted to show off. However, she made a slip of the tongue and said that she knew how to drink. Then you drink. Gao Ran pushed his wife's wine glass. You're a tiger. You're actually rebelling. Zhu Lingling pinched Gao Ran. The problem is, did you say that you can drink? Gao Ran didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Wasn't that a slip of the tongue? Sister Lingling, let's do it. Let's see the true face of a tough woman, Tang Chuan chimed in. Zhu Lingling was also very straightforward. She picked up her wine glass and drained it in one gulp. Gao Ran mumbled softly, why do I have a feeling that we're going to be crippled today? That's right, you guys are the baboons, Wei Liao added, making Jiang Xiaowei laugh so hard that her stomach hurt. Ah! Tycoons, please drink. Zhu Lingling said loudly. Then, the entire audience burst into laughter. What are you guys laughing at? Aren't you going to start with me? Zhu Lingling's face was filled with shock. Lingling, the tycoons are treating us to a drink. Not the tycoons. You're wrong again. Jiang Xiaowei kindly reminded her. Sister Lingling, let's drink as punishment. Tang Chuan chimed in. Zhu Lingling was speechless. Zhu Lingling didn't say a word. She poured another cup and downed it. She was quite efficient. Tycoons, please drink. Finally, she didn't make a slip of the tongue. Gao Ran was so scared that his heart almost jumped out of his chest. Yes. Lingling, please drink slightly. I don't know how to drink slightly, Jiang Xiaowei said quickly. Then who knows how to drink? Zhu Lingling asked. Chapter 2304. Mian can drink. As soon as Jiang Xiaowei finished speaking, Min immediately responded, Mian can't drink. Then who can drink? Jiang Xiaowei asked. Chuan can drink. Chuan can't drink. Tang Chuan was very familiar with this game. Then who can drink? Min asked. Liao can drink. Tang Chuan pointed the gun at Wei Liao. Liao can't drink either, Wei Liao said slowly. Ha, wrong. Master Wei, drink as punishment. Tang Chuan was so happy that he almost jumped up. What's wrong? Wei Liao was confused. You added an extra word. You said. Liao can't drink either. You didn't add an extra word. Tang Chuan pointed out the mistake. Wei Liao was speechless. Honey, why do you have such a bad mouth? He already said he can't drink, but you added an extra word. Jiang Xiaowei was also worried about Wei Liao's IQ. It was a slip of the tongue. Wei Liao was very happy. Without another word, he picked up the glass and drank it. Liao invites Yang to drink. Wei Liao looked at Yang, who had been silent all this time. Yang can't drink. Then who can drink? Lily can drink. Yang looked at Rick with his cute eyes. Rick realized that he was the Lily he was talking about. He didn't have time to complain about this ridiculous name. He responded, Lily can't drink, then who can drink? Mian can drink. Rick threw the ball to Min. Mian can't drink. Min also looked wronged. Then who knows how to drink? Rick asked in fluent Chinese. Cici knows how to drink. Min decided to use the same method he used to take revenge on Rick on Cici. Cici was still sitting there giggling, unable to react for a moment. After 3 seconds, when she saw that everyone was looking at her, she came to a sudden realization. Cece, what are you thinking? Your name is called, Jiang Xiaowei reminded her with a smile. I was just watching. Ha ha ha, I didn't think it would be my turn so soon. Cece giggled. Drink, drink, drink. Tang Chuan was still the one who forced people to drink. Before Cece could say anything, Rick picked up Cece's glass and downed it in front of everyone. She then explained to everyone, Cece is injured and has just been discharged from the hospital. She can't drink, so I'll drink on her behalf. Please forgive me. China's best husband. Zhu Lingling smirked. It's all because of you, honey. Cece lowered her head shyly. Then you're China's best boyfriend. Zhu Lingling corrected her. Just like that, everyone's mood was lifted. It seemed like a simple game, but it wasn't easy to play. Because it was very fast, especially after a few glasses of wine, it was even harder to keep up. So, more and more people made mistakes and drank more and more. In the end, even geniuses like Qin Chu and Huamin couldn't avoid it. Chapter 2305. I thought so too, but I can't believe they're having so much fun, especially my mom. It's my first time seeing her like that. Wei Yunchu looked at Jiang Xiaowei, who was giggling like an idiot, in disbelief. Was that really his mother, who was usually so serious and cold? That's why, although adults sometimes look very old, their behavior is still very childish. The relationship between parents and children has always been difficult to deal with. There are conflicts mostly because both parties are immature. Children are too young, so it's normal for them to be immature. Sometimes, when adults act childishly, they become immature as well. It's a bit unreasonable. Your logic is really unbelievable. This is the first time I've heard of it. Wei Yunchu looked at Pudding with admiration in his eyes. Just then, Pudding's phone rang. Handsome Sue. She picked up the video call and smiled sweetly. I'm here, Pudding, so fast. Is it cold over there? No, the temperature here is just right. What are you doing? Suyu looked at Pudding lovingly. I'm chatting with Wei Yunchu. Where's Little Bean? She's eating with Gao Buiyuan. Pudding pointed at the room and answered. Then you should remind Gao Buiyuan that if he continues to hang out with Little Bean, he'll be as fat as a pig sooner or later. Suyu joked. Ha ha ha, Uncle Su, you're so funny. Wei Yunchu laughed. I'm not going to remind him. It's useless even if I did. Little Bean is always trying to seduce Gao Buiyuan. You know. Pudding winked at Suyu. Suyu laughed heartily. Then he asked, where are they? Are they still drinking? Not yet. I think the climax has just begun. Let me show you the scene. Pudding pointed the camera at the living room. Suyu looked through the camera and saw that they were drinking to their heart's content. Tang Chuan took off all his clothes except for his tights. Jiang Xiaowei and Huamin were hugging each other with flushed cheeks as if they were best friends. Zhu Lingling was lying on Gao Ran's shoulder with disheveled hair, flirting with her husband. Qin Chu was in a better situation. He took out his phone and paid attention to the company's situation. Even Ni Yang and Chen Jia, who had always been the most honest, began to kiss each other. This is a rebellion. Suyu exclaimed. That's right. They're probably going to fly into the sky and stand shoulder to shoulder with the sun. Pudding added. It's a pity that I couldn't attend this party. I really wanted to see how drunk they were. Suyu smiled. It's okay, I'll secretly record a video for you later. Pudding whispered. Alright, I'll keep it. In the future, I'll take it out and slander them all the time. Ha! Suyut smiled proudly. After hanging up, Wei Yunchu looked at Pudding with jealousy. You're so good to Uncle Su. Uncle Su treats us very well too. Pudding didn't think much of it. Then, if you get married in the future, will you be better to your husband or Uncle Su? Wei Yunchu was conflicted again. I can't answer this question because I'm still young and don't have a husband. So, your assumption doesn't work. Pudding's words made Wei Yunchu speechless. On the other hand, Pudding had almost finished all of Gao Buiyuan's food. There was only a bag left. Buiyuan, I'm thirsty. Pudding whined. There's juice, carbonated drinks, milk, and lemon tea in my fridge. Which one do you want? Gao Buiyuan asked Pudding happily. Which one do you like? Pudding pouted and began to act cute. Chapter 2306. I like carbonated drinks, but my mom says it's not good to drink too much of it because it causes calcium loss. That's why she told me to drink more. Gao Buiyuan answered in all seriousness. I see. Okay then, give me a can of milk, Little Bean ordered. Okay, I'll go get it now. After saying that, Gao Buiyuan jogged over to the refrigerator. Because he was too short, he couldn't reach the top of the fridge. So, he immediately called for help. Dad, come here. What? Gao Ran was in the middle of drinking and was a bit annoyed by his son's call. Get me 2 cans of milk. Gao Ran got up, opened the fridge, and took out 4 cans. Little brat, don't just think about yourself and your wife. Think about your sister-in-law. Gao Ran pointed at Pudding and said jokingly. Gao Buiyuan's face was a bit red. He held the 4 cans of milk and gave 2 to Wei Yunchu and Pudding. He took the remaining 2 into his room and shared them with Little Bean. It was just a drinking game, but everyone drank until they felt like they were floating, and so, the following scene happened. The first couple, Huamin, was hugging Chin Chu's neck like a koala. Honey, do you think I'm pretty? Yes. Mr. Chin looked at his wife tenderly. Then who's prettier, me or you? Huamin continued to be stubborn. You're prettier than me. Mr. Chin meant what he said. After all, beauty was in the eye of the beholder. Then who's prettier, me or Pudding and Little Bean? Huamin continued to compare himself to his daughters. You're prettier than me. You're the prettiest person in the world, Mr. Chin said directly. Ha, big brother, you think you're a magic mirror. Chin Ning covered her mouth and laughed. Honey, if you talk to me like this, I'll enjoy it. Huamin laughed so hard that her face turned red when she heard Mr. Chin's compliment. He was the reserved type. Although he had drunk a lot, he was still rational. For the second pair, Jiang Xiaowei rolled up her sleeves and called out to Tang Chuan. Come on, let's hurt each other. Jiang Xiaowei picked up a full glass of wine and drank it in one gulp. Including this cup, this was the 3rd cup. Tang Chuan had just announced that he would compete with Jiang Xiaowei for the title of God of Wine. Then, seeing that Jiang Xiaowei was a woman, for every cup she drank, Tang Chuan would drink 2 cups. In the end, Jiang Xiaowei was especially tough. She downed 3 glasses in a row. In other words, Tang Chuan would have to drink 6 glasses. Can you do it or not? Master Tang, if you're scared, just admit defeat to your sister-in-law. If you have a good attitude, you don't have to drink. Just admit defeat. Wei Liao smiled with a toothpick in his mouth. What a joke. You've known me for so many years, when have you ever seen me cower? Plus, my woman is here today. As a man, I can't lose face like this. Who's your woman? Shameless. Qin Ning didn't drink that much, so she was still sober. She even knew how to argue with Tang Chuan. Tang Chuan didn't hold back either. He downed 6 glasses in a row. Speaking of which, after drinking 6 glasses of beer, he was really dizzy. After all, he had drunk so much before. Now, he couldn't take it anymore. He thought that was enough. But to his surprise, Jiang Xiaowei poured herself another glass after he finished. Then, she downed 3 glasses in a row. Everyone was dumbfounded by what they saw. Slightly better. You're even more manly than me. Zhu Lingling applauded. Chapter 2307. Your wife is amazing. Rick looked at Wei Liao in awe. Sister Slightly is such a good drinker. Ni Yang also clapped his hands. Fuck, they're trying to drink Mr. Tang to death. Gao Ran also joined in the fun. Chuan, are we still drinking? Jiang Xiaowei looked at Tang Chuan with a smile. To be honest, Tang Chuan couldn't drink 6 more glasses because he almost threw up. Just as he was about to admit defeat to Qin Ning, Slightly's wife, Qin Ning suddenly stood up. Sister Weiwei, can I drink it for him? In fact, Qin Ning was quite shy when she said this. Oh. Tang Chuan's family is going to have sex. Zhu Lingling teased. Don't be scared, honey. Your husband is here too. I'm always ready. Wei Liao hugged Jiang Xiaowei's waist and smiled. Honey, you're the best. Mwah. Jiang Xiaowei was also drunk. She lowered her head and held Wei Liao's head, kissing him on the forehead. Not far away, Pudding licked an ice cream cone and glanced at Wei Yunchu. Your parents are showing off their love, I saw it. Wei Yunchu was extremely calm. So, what do you think? Pudding teased Wei Yunchu. They're both drunk. The test is over. Wei Yunchu's little heart was about to break. Ever since he was born, he had never seen his parents drink so much, especially his mother, who had a PhD in psychology. She even wanted to challenge for the title of God of Wine. Pudding covered her mouth and couldn't stop laughing. Ning Ning. I'm not dreaming, right? Are you really going to drink for me? Tang Chuan was surprised and happy. I just don't want to see you drink like a dead dog. Qin Ning refused to admit it. Hee hee. My Ning Ning is the best. Sis-in-law, can I bring my family? Tang Chuan looked at Jiang Xiaowei proudly. Sure, whatever. Jiang Xiaowei smiled. Qin Ning lowered her head, gritted her teeth, raised her glass, and drank 6 glasses in a row. The truth was, Qin Ning had a high alcohol tolerance. It was just that she grew up in the United States and didn't have a drinking culture there. She didn't drink often, but the Qin family's strong genes, therefore, Qin Ning's display of her skills really made everyone look at her in a new light. On the other side, Hua Mian was still hugging Mr. Qin's neck. Honey, look, our Ning Ning is cheating. Ning Ning has always been a good drinker. Sometimes she drinks with my dad and uncle on a whim. Qin Chu was very calm. Little girl, you're really good at hiding things. But it looks like she and Tang Chuan have a lot going on. Hua Min smiled. Oh my god, Ning Ning. Don't drink too much. You don't have to drink so much for me, just 3 glasses. Tang Chuan's heart ached. He didn't know Qin Ning was so strong that she could drink 6 glasses in a row. I'm fine. I'm definitely stronger than you. Qin Ning wiped the corner of her mouth and looked at Tang Chuan. At this moment, Tang Chuan was full of admiration for her. Honey, you're amazing, fuck off, who's your wife? Looks like you didn't drink too much, huh? When you drink too much, you'll admit it. Tang Chuan snickered. This time, Ni Yang, Chen Jie, Rick, and Cici all became spectators. At the beginning, the battle between Jiang Xiaowei and Tang Chuan had become a battle between Jiang Xiaowei, Wei Liao, and Tang Chuan. Chapter 2308. Zhu Lingling looked at the empty bottles and sighed. Honey, thank goodness I bought a lot today. Otherwise, it wouldn't be enough for these drunkards. Honey, I have to give you a thumbs up. Gao Ran gave his wife a thumbs up. Sister Mian, come and watch the show. The god of wine is coming out. Cici waved her hand and called out to Huamin. Qin Chu put his arm around Huamin and returned to the table to watch. It's the last round. Let's each send a representative to finish 10 glasses of wine. Whoever can finish it all in one go wins. What do you think? Jiang Xiaowei looked at Tang Chuan and Qin Chu and said. Sure. To show my respect, you guys go first. If you guys win, we won't drink and just admit defeat. Qin Ning said calmly. Good girl, it's decided then. Jiang Xiaowei glanced at Huamin. Mian, you be the judge. The god of wine is coming out, okay, but does the winner have to be the god of wine? Huamin didn't have any bargaining chips or motivation. No, we agreed that whoever wins will give the winner 5 bottles of wine that are worth more than 1,000,000 yuan. Tang Chuan interrupted. Wow, this is really a game for rich people. So there's 5,000,000 yuan worth of wine as a bargaining chip. That's good. Huamin exclaimed. See? Honey, they're all rich people. That's why they give out millions of yuan so easily. Ordinary people like us can't compare to them. Zhu Lingling teased. Sister Lingling, if you say that, then you're looking down on us. Director Gao is in politics and we're in business. We're not incomparable. We have power but we don't have money. But your husband has power and money, so you should be content with what you have. Oh, right, we're going to collude with government officials and businessmen. Everyone's going to be good. Bah. Who wants to collude with you? Zhu Lingling laughed and scolded Tang Chuan. Let me do it slightly. You've already drunk a lot. Jiang Xiaowei was just about to raise her glass when Wei Liao refused. He was afraid that his wife would vomit, so he took the initiative to step forward. However, on the 7th cup, Master Wei still vomited, extremely brutal. Hubby, are you okay? Jiang Xiaowei quickly poured a glass of water for Wei Liao. It's our turn, Ning Ning. As long as we can drink 8 glasses, we'll win. Tang Chuan said proudly. Let me. Qin Ning knew that Tang Chuan drank a lot, so she didn't let him touch his glass. No, no. You just drank 6 glasses. This is too much. Tang Chuan refused and tried to grab Qin Ning's glass. Do you still want to chase after me? Qin Ning threatened. What does that have to do with anything? Tang Chuan was confused. If you want to chase after me, then move aside. Qin Ning ordered. In the end, Tang Chuan hesitated for a moment and quietly moved aside for Qin Ning. Is Ning Ning okay? Huamin was worried about his sister-in-law and secretly asked Qin Chu. She'll be fine. She can finish all 10 glasses. Qin Chu said confidently. At this moment, Pudding, Little Bean, Wei Yun Chu, and Gao Buiyuan all stopped playing and ran over to watch the show. Your auntie looks amazing. Gao Buiyuan said. That's right. Our Qin family has strong genes. Little Bean said proudly. Ning Ning. Let's drink as much as we can, okay? If you really can't drink anymore, don't force yourself. Just admit defeat. Let's not talk about 5 bottles of wine. Even if it's 50 bottles, I'll accept it. I can't let anything happen to you, Tang Chuan nagged on the side. Then, everyone's eyes fell on Qin Ning. Mr. Qin's sister looks awesome. Honey, do you think she'll win? Cece whispered as she held Rick's hand. Chapter 2309. Of course she will. Ning Ning is a good drinker, Rick commented calmly. Ning Ning. Wow. Why are you calling her so intimately? Do you have a crush on her or something? After all, they're both in the States and they live so close to each other. Their families are so close, right? Cece teased Rick with jealousy. Ning Ning is Qin Chu's little sister. I met her when I went to visit Qin Chu when I was in the States. She's just a little girl, what are you thinking? Rick was speechless. I'm just kidding. I just want to see how you'll react when I get jealous. Cece laughed. Rick, Qin Ning picked up a glass and started drinking. Tang Chuan felt bad for her and tried to persuade her. Ning Ning, stop drinking. Let's just admit defeat. I won't be the god of wine anymore. Qin Ning didn't say anything and just drank. By the 8th glass, everyone's expression changed. Qin Chu's little sister is insane. Gao Ran exclaimed. Oh no, honey. We lost. I embarrassed you. Wei Liao hugged Jiang Shaowei's waist and rubbed his head against her body. Jiang Shaowei hugged Wei Liao's head and smiled. It's okay, it's just for fun. We didn't take it that seriously. But, are you going to reimburse me for 5 million yuan worth of wine? Honey, can we not play so big in the future? Will your husband go bankrupt? Wei Liao pouted. Ha, if you go bankrupt, you can sell your body to support me and our son. Jiang Shaowei joked. I'm afraid I'll have to disappoint you with my body. I'm not at that level yet. Mr. Qin can. Wei Liao smiled and pointed at Qin Chu. Hey, what are you doing? You two are just joking. Why are you making Mr. Qin the scapegoat? Hua Min retorted. Are you praising Mr. Qin? Wei Liao added. Pfft, how can you compliment me like that? If my family goes bankrupt one day, it's simple, I'll just sell my body. Mr. Qin and I will just open a clinic and continue to be doctors. Hua Mian said proudly. Awesome. I forgot that you two have such powerful survival skills. Wei Liao gave them a thumbs up. At this time, Qin Ning had just finished his 10th cup of wine and did not have any intention of vomiting. Oh my god. Qin Ning, you're amazing. Zhu Lingling clapped. Ning Ning, are you okay? Tang Chuan hurried over to help her. It's okay, I'm okay. Qin Ning smiled and took out a tissue to wipe her mouth. Hubby, we lost. Hurry up and get someone to deliver the wine. Jiang Shaowei snuggled into Wei Liao's arms and acted coquettishly. Okay. We lost the bet. But Mr. Tang, let me tell you, my wife didn't lose to you. She lost to Ning Ning, yes. Your wife lost to my wife. Tang Chuan chuckled. This time, Qin Ning did not refute him. Tang Chuan, my throat is so dry. I want to drink water. Qin Ning ordered. Tang Chuan immediately poured a cup of warm water for Qin Ning. Tang Chuan, my shoulders hurt. Give me a massage, okay. Tang Chuan immediately stood behind Qin Ning and gave her a massage. He was very obedient and didn't complain. Mr. Tang, you're willing to be my slave. Wei Liao laughed. Congratulations, Mr. Qin, for having an obedient brother-in-law. Gao Ran chimed in. That's it for today. Everyone drank a lot, let's go back and rest, Huamin suggested. Don't, we're having fun. How about I treat everyone to karaoke? What do you think? Tang Chuan suggested. Chapter 23:10. Oh no, I'm so sleepy. I'm old and can't stay up all night. Today's a good day. Let's go. Jiang Shaowei agreed with Huamin. Okay, then you should leave as soon as possible. But don't drive if you're drunk. I've already booked a designated driver. He's nearby. He'll be here soon. He'll send everyone home safely, Zhu Lingling said. Sister Lingling, you're so thoughtful. Good job. Ni Yang praised Zhu Lingling. The adults got up and put on their clothes to leave. On the other hand, Gao Buiyuan was reluctant to leave. Little Bean, when are you going to come and play with me? Wait until I'm free, Little Bean said with a straight face. Aren't you free every day? You and your sister don't need to go to kindergarten, right? Yeah, we don't need to go to kindergarten. But we still have a lot of things to do. My sister has to invest in the stock market and we have to learn how to play piano and waltz. We also have to play with Grandpa and Grandma and visit Grandma. Oh, and Lord Su and Grandma Su. Anyway, we're very busy. Okay, you can come to my house when you're free. Gao Buiyuan looked at Little Bean with puppy eyes. Okay, thank you for giving me so much good food today. Then, Little Bean kissed Gao Buiyuan on the forehead. Happiness came so suddenly that it gave Gao Buiyuan a shock. He was stunned. Pudding, who was not far away, chuckled. My sister is taking advantage of Buiyuan again, I want to be taken advantage of too. Wei Yunchu murmured. What did you say? Pudding didn't hear him clearly and asked again. No, nothing. I said, you didn't eat much today. Are you hungry? Wei Yunchu asked. I'm not hungry. It's not good to eat too much at night. It's not good for digestion. Pudding talked about health. Okay. Wei Yunchu lowered his head and didn't say anything else. Pudding, Little Bean, come and put on your clothes. Huamin called. Coming, Mommy, the two little ones ran over happily. Huamin and Qin Chu helped them put on their jackets. After that, everyone went downstairs and left in waves. Zhu Lingling and Gao Ran glanced at the mess, speechless. Honey, who's going to clean up? Zhu Lingling asked with a smile. Honey. I'm really tired too. Why don't we get a cleaner to clean up tomorrow? Gao Ran suggested. How can that be? The temperature in the room is so high. If so much food is left here overnight, it will become moldy. If the food becomes moldy, it will be poisonous. It will not be good for the body. Zhu Lingling blabbered on. Then what should we do? Gao Ran looked helpless. How about, we play rock, paper, scissors? Zhu Lingling asked tentatively. Whoever loses will clean up. Gao Ran was afraid of falling into his wife's trap, so he planned to ask in advance. He didn't want her to change her mind and say that the winner should clean up after he won. Of course, whoever loses will clean up. What do you think? Okay. Gao Ran nodded. Come on, I'll count to 3, and we'll do it together. Zhu Lingling put her right hand behind her back. Gao Ran was also very careful, afraid that it would be a trap. 1, 2, 3. After Zhu Lingling called out, she threw out a piece of paper. Gao Ran threw out a pair of scissors at the same time. Ha, you lost, honey. Gao Ran was overjoyed. What's the rush? It's a best of 3. Zhu Lingling was obviously not convinced. Again, 1, 2, 3. Zhu Lingling called out again. Gao Ran cooperatively threw out a pair of scissors, and Zhu Lingling threw out a piece of paper. Honey. You lost again. You threw out a pair of scissors again. You don't play by the rules. Zhu Lingling was furious. Chapter 23:11. Honey, don't be like this. It's my freedom to do whatever I want. Are you trying to cheat? Gao Ran wanted to cry. Honey, this time doesn't count. Let's play a best of 5, okay? Zhu Lingling smiled. No, honey, let's stop playing. I'm afraid that if you lose, it'll continue to be 4 out of 6, 5 out of 7. It'll never end. I think I should clean up this mess. Gao Ran admitted his bad luck. He admitted defeat and turned around to clean up the food on the table. Zhu Lingling picked up Gao Buiyuan, feeling extremely happy. Then I'll go give our son a bath. Thank you, honey. Thanks for your hard work. Ha! After leaving Gao Ran's house, everyone got into the car and headed home. Inside the black Bentley, Daddy, why didn't Auntie come back with us? Pudding asked. Your auntie is in Tang Chuan's car, Qin Chu replied. Damn. Auntie won't come back today and spend the night outside. Little Bean immediately imagined a scene that was not suitable for children. What the hell are you thinking about in that little head of yours? Hua Min pinched Little Bean's chin. Ha! Nothing. I'm just worried about Auntie. I didn't get the chance to scold you. You should know when to stop pranking people. Look at how scared Buiyuan was today. Hua Min brought up Little Bean's troublesome incident. Didn't I play with him the whole night to make up for his trauma? Little Bean didn't think much of it. Yeah, you also ate all the food at Gao Buiyuan's house. Pudding added. Little Bean, you even kissed Gao Buiyuan before you left. Little Bean, that's enough. Pudding glanced at her little sister. I was just expressing my friendship with my friends. Sis, don't take it the wrong way. Little Bean continued to quibble. Hua Min raised his hand to support his forehead. Qin Mumu, please don't say that we're family when you go out in the future. The 3 of us don't know you, Little Bean, you have to be careful with what you say and behave appropriately. Don't mess around. This time, even Qin Chu warned Little Bean. Did you hear that? Little Bean, remember that next time. Pudding scolded her sister. Did the 3 of you plan to attack me together tonight? Are you jealous of my natural beauty? Little Bean pouted. Her cute appearance warmed Qin Chu's heart. Alright, you 2 must be tired. Go back and sleep early. Stop gossiping. When they got home, Qin Chu led them upstairs, 1 in each hand. Hua Min said a few words to Lady Qin downstairs before going upstairs. Hua Min coaxed the twins to sleep. Just as he was about to leave the room, Pudding's phone rang. It was a video call from Su Yu. He probably thought that they were still at Gao Ran's house. Hua Min picked it up without thinking. Lord Su. What do you want? Hua Min asked with a smile. Su Yu was shocked. He was in a hotel in another city. He had just taken a shower and was still wearing a bathrobe. He wanted to ask Pudding how everyone was doing, but to his surprise, Hua Min picked up the video call. Without any warning, Su became shy. He picked up his jacket from the side of the bed and put it on. What? Why are you shy with me? It's not like you're naked. Hua Min teased him on purpose. Why are you the one who picked up? I thought I called Pudding, right? Su Yu was amused. Yeah, she's asleep. We just got back, it ended so quickly. I thought we were going to be crazy until the sun came up. No, we're not young anymore. We don't have much energy. We're all sleepy and drank a lot. Did anything fun happen? Suyu asked. Chapter 23:12. Yeah, they're all pretty fun. I don't need to tell you. Pudding and Little Bean will tell you everything tomorrow. It sounds like it's a shame that I didn't go. It's okay, there will be plenty of opportunities in the future. Let's attack Changju. Huamin chuckled. Okay. Suyu, yeah. That thing, don't take it to heart. Huamin said slowly. What thing? Suyu froze, she didn't know what Huamin was talking about. The rumor on Weibo, oh, that thing. I didn't take it to heart. It's not like it's the first time someone has been saying that I'm gay. I'm already used to it. Say whatever you want, I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, don't let the rumor get in your way, I know. Suyu nodded. How's it going over there? Pretty good, I'll probably be done in 2 days. I'll go back once I'm done. Okay, take care of yourself. Okay. I'm going to bed now. Huamin said goodbye. Okay, good night. Suyu looked at Huamin with a gentle gaze. Huamin was afraid to meet Qin Chu's gaze, so she subconsciously looked away. Then, she nodded and replied, good night. Then, Huamin quietly put her phone on the bedside table and went back to the master bedroom. Inside the master bedroom, Mr. Qin was already lying down with the blanket over him. Huamin thought that Mr. Qin must be tired, so he went to bed first. She quickly changed into her pajamas and carefully crawled under the blanket. However, as soon as she got in, Mr. Qin flipped her over and pressed her down. What are you doing? You scared me, I thought you were asleep. Huamin whispered. No, I was waiting for you. Mr. Qin's voice was a little hoarse as he looked at Huamin with lust in his eyes. Why aren't you wearing anything? When Huamin's body touched his, she realized that Mr. Qin was already asleep and didn't even have a piece of cloth on him. Honey, are you going to do it after you get drunk? Huamian looked at Qin Chu with wide eyes. You can think of it that way. Mr. Qin then leaned down and kissed Huamin's long eyelashes. On the other hand, Tang Chuan and Qin Ning were still sitting in the car. Even when they reached the entrance of South Hill Manor, they didn't get out of the car. They didn't want to leave each other's. The two of you. How much longer are we going to sit here? I still have work to do. The designated driver in front was going crazy. Mr. Qin, Mr. Qin, and Min have a look, Mr. Qin Qin Chu's Qin, it's not about the money, it's about how I'm going to go home, there aren't any taxis around here. The driver was on the verge of tears. Little Chuan, why don't you ask the driver to take you home? I'm going to leave now. Qin Ning lowered her head shyly. Don't do that, I'm not done yet. I don't want to leave you. Tang Chuan didn't want her to leave. Qin Ning's face turned even redder. The driver finally understood what was going on. He had bumped into a couple who were deeply in love. They were glued to each other like glue. But it's already so late. If I don't go home now, my uncle and the others will be worried. Qin Ning still had a little bit of rationality left in her. Then kiss me, and I'll let you out. Tang Chuan teased. There are people in front. Qin Ning was embarrassed and angry. Come on, you, close your eyes. Tang Chuan pointed at the driver in front of them. The driver was speechless. Okay, you can kiss me now. Tang Chuan closed his eyes and walked up to Qin Ning. Chapter 23:13. Who wants to be intimate with you? Qi Ning shyly pushed Tang Chuan's face away. If you don't kiss me, I'll cling on to you and won't let you get out of the car. Tang Chuan wasn't stupid. Seeing how Qi Ning drank for him tonight, he knew that Qi Ning had feelings for him. You. Qi Ning looked at Tang Chuan's shameless face and didn't know what to do. She was both angry and amused. Miss, please kiss me. I want to go home as soon as possible. The driver begged with his eyes closed. Qi Ning chuckled, then, she quickly kissed Tang Chuan lightly on the corner of his mouth. Then, she quickly opened the door and got out of the car. Ha! That's it. Tang Chuan obviously wasn't satisfied, but Qi Ning had already gotten out of the car. Jiang Xiaowei and Wei Liao also felt dizzy when they got home. The two of them drank more than the others tonight because they had a drinking competition with Tang Chuan. Honey, do you have a headache? I'll get you a bath. Okay. Jiang Xiaowei nodded. Then, Wei Liao took off his clothes and carried Jiang Xiaowei to the bathroom. At the door, they bumped into their son, Wei Yunchu. Son, what are you doing? Why aren't you sleeping? Wei Liao froze. Are you two planning to give me a little brother or sister? Wei Yunchu asked in all seriousness. Wei Liao, Jiang Xiaowei, son, who told you that nonsense? Wei Liao's face turned red. Don't lie to me. You took off your clothes, I know what you want. You want to give me a brother or sister with mommy. Although Wei Yunchu's EQ was not as high as pudding and little beans, he was still clueless. Ahem. Son, it's not what you think. Jiang Xiaowei didn't know how to explain. Wei Yunchu stood in front of the bathroom, blocking his parents' way. In the end, he took out something and stuffed it into Wei Liao's hand. Old Wei. Be careful. Wei Yunchu turned around and left. When Wei Liao saw what it was, he was so scared that he almost peed his pants. This. Wei Liao was at a loss for words. Honey, what is this? Jiang Xiaowei was curious about the toy that her son gave her. Look at it yourself. I don't know how to describe it. Wei Liao opened his hand and showed it to his wife. Then, Jiang Xiaowei was also shocked. She didn't expect her son to know the use of condoms. Is our son precocious? Jiang Xiaowei was also dumbfounded. Maybe, he learned it from the twins. Little Bean and Pudding have always understood. Wei Liao guessed. The only couple who didn't get drunk at the party were Rick and Cece. Chen Jia and Nenai Yang, who couldn't hold their liquor, were so drunk that they immediately went to bed after they got home. Only Rick and Cece were in the mood to play at the ice skating rink in the middle of the night. Cece also drank a little and was very excited, therefore, when she came back, she said that she wanted to go ice skating, and Rick indulged her. He took her directly to the ice skating rink, got the staff on duty up, and opened the door for them. Only the two of them were in the huge ice skating rink, so they didn't feel lonely. The slow, soft music was especially pleasant in the middle of the night. Come here. Cece put on her skates, drew a circle on the ice, and beckoned to Rick with her finger. Don't. Rick actually refused. Why not? Cece pouted. Rick was silent. You don't know how to skate. Ha. Cece suddenly thought of something and asked with a laugh. Chapter 23:14. Rick was still silent, but it was obvious that he looked unnatural. Am I right? Cece suddenly realized. Only then did Rick slowly nod his head. Oh my God, you don't know how to skate. That's so surprising. Cece looked as if she had discovered a new continent. What's so surprising about that? I'm not a special forces soldier, why do I need to know everything? Rick said proudly. That's great, I can be your master and teach you how to skate. No, I don't want to learn. Rick refused without hesitation. No, if you don't want to learn, I have to teach you. Come on, call me master. Cece bullied Rick. Rick was speechless. Aw. The gunshot wound hurt so much. Cece suddenly squatted down and held her chest. Rick was so scared that he immediately ran over. He hugged Cece tightly and helped her up. Cece, how are you feeling? Where does it hurt? To his surprise, Cece didn't wait for him to speak. She got up, grabbed Rick's hands, and quickly skated on the ice. She was so fast that Rick's face changed color. Don't be scared. Just hold on to me tightly. I won't let you fall. Cece comforted Rick as she skated gracefully. Then, she led Rick around the ice rink, and that feeling made him want to fly again. Is it fun? Cece smiled brightly. It's okay. Rick seemed to have gotten used to it and wasn't so scared anymore. Don't be scared. It's really fun. It's just like how you guys like racing. That moment of speed and passion is really exciting and fulfilling. Rick didn't say anything else. Looking at Cece's smiling face, he suddenly felt very satisfied. He finally understood how Chin Chu felt. Why was it that every time Hwamin smiled, Chin Chu would look at her lovingly? So, this was how loving someone was. Seeing her smile would make you happy too. Suyu came back 2 days later. After he came back from his business trip, he went straight to Imperial Star's headquarters for a meeting. When he got home, it was already night time. Lady Su called him and asked him to come home for dinner. He thought his parents and grandfather missed him, but he didn't expect so many people to be home. Hwamin and the twins were also there. Hwamin's mother was also chatting with Suyu's mother. I'm back. Suyu opened the door and walked in. The twins heard the commotion and ran over, one on each side. They hugged Suyu's thighs tightly. Handsome Su, I miss you so much. Pudding said. Handsome Su, I missed you so much. Little Bean didn't want to be outdone. Why are you two little guys here? Suyu was pleasantly surprised. I didn't tell Grandma Su to tell you when I called. I wanted to give you a surprise, huh? Little Bean laughed. You two really have more and more ideas. Suyu pinched Little Bean's face lovingly and patted Pudding's head. Finally, she raised her head and glanced at Hwamin. You're here too. Yes. Where's Chin Chu? Suyu asked. He's still busy. He'll come over in a bit, oh. Suyu nodded. Handsome Su, did you have fun on your business trip? Little Bean asked. It was okay. I didn't have much fun. I spent most of my time in a meeting at the hotel. Then, did you bring us gifts? Little Bean asked shamelessly. Little Bean, you shouldn't ask Handsome Su so directly. Pudding reprimanded. Then what should I say? Little Bean felt wronged. You should say that Handsome Su, you won't come back empty-handed, right? Pudding covered her mouth and laughed. Isn't that the same thing? Little Bean didn't want to admit defeat. It's not the same. I asked in a subtle way, but you asked too directly. Pudding argued. Stop arguing, you two. I got it. Anyway, you want a gift, right? Suyu squatted down with a smile and looked at the two little guys lovingly. Suyu, don't spoil them. There's no need to buy gifts. Hwamin was a little embarrassed and scolded the twins. Then guess what I bought. If you guess correctly, you can take it. If you get the wrong one, you don't get it. Suyu purposely made it difficult for the twins. Chapter 23:15. Are you kidding me? Handsome Sue is too much. Little Bean pouted. Let's guess. After all, I'm willing to do things that test my IQ. Pudding's attitude was the opposite of Little Bean's. She was happy to play along with Suyu. Which one of you will go first? Suyu smiled mysteriously. Is it jewelry? Little Bean asked. So tacky, Pudding immediately added. Then, is it pork trotters? Little Bean's eyes lit up at the thought of food. Pork trotters. Why would I bring a gift like that? Little Bean, you're such a weird loli. Suyu was speechless. Handsome Sue, is it an electronic product? Pudding asked calmly. Suyu shook his head. Handsome Sue, is it a piano or something? Little Bean asked. Suyu continued to shake his head. The twins made 7 or 8 guesses, but they were all rejected by Suyu. In the end, the twins gave up. Sis, let's stop guessing. How about, we admit defeat? Little Bean was discouraged. Pudding didn't say anything. Instead, she looked at Suyu and suddenly had an idea. Handsome Sue, can we ask for outside help? Oh. Outside help. Little girl, you have a lot of ideas. Suyu lovingly pinched Pudding's little face. Can we? Pudding asked cutely. Sure. Who do you want to ask for help? Suyu stood up with a smile and looked at Huamin's mother, Mr. Sue, and Lord Sue. Mommy, can you help us? Pudding turned around and asked Huamin for help. If Mommy helps you, will it count as cheating? Huamin chuckled. No, Handsome Sue said it's okay. Pudding emphasized. Mommy, the problem is, can you guess it? Don't be as stupid as us. Little Bean didn't have much confidence in her mommy. Do you think I'm 4 years old like the two of you? Huamin laughed as he walked over. He glanced at Suyu and said, It is said that you are going on a business trip in Jiangzhou, right? Yes. Suyu nodded. The 4 most famous specialties of Jiang District are porcelain, silk, soy sauce duck tongue, and Yimei black tea, Huamin said slowly. So, what do you think it is? Suyu found it amusing and continued to ask Huamin. Porcelain is expensive and beautiful, but it's hard to preserve. So, you definitely wouldn't choose porcelain for Pudding and Little Bean. Soy sauce duck tongue is delicious, but it's too cheap, so it can't be considered a gift. Yimei black tea is rare, but the 2 kids don't like tea, so... I'm guessing that the only thing you're going to give them is something related to silk. Damn, do you have to be so smart? A female version of Detective Conan. Suyu laughed as he listened to Huamin's deduction. But that wasn't the point. Huamin continued, silk can be made into many things. Jiang District's handkerchief and fan are both famous, but because these 2 things are too small, you wouldn't go to such great lengths to give them. I heard that Jiang District has the bright moon blue ripple brocade, which was made by the Ming Dynasty's nobles. Because it's about to be lost, it's handmade. Many high-ranking officials in Jing City go to Jiang District every year to ask for a piece to make kipeos for the socialites in their families. Lord Su, it's not easy for you to go there and get one as well. Don't tell me you made kipeos for the 2 kids. After Huamin finished speaking, Suyu was completely shocked. Chapter 23:16. His eyes were wide open, completely in disbelief. How did you? I'm just guessing. Huamian smiled. Suyu turned around and looked at him with a strange expression. Did you betray me and tell her? I didn't. And was a man of few words, but he never lied. Suyu knew that. What? She guessed it, but you don't want to admit it. Mrs. Su laughed at her son. Are you a sore loser? Lord Su snorted. No. Grandpa, I just didn't expect Huamian to be so smart. Not only did she know that I got the bright moon blue ripple brocade, but she also knew that I made the cheongsam for Pudding and Little Bean. Isn't that too? You can read minds, right? Suyu wanted to worship Huamian again. People say that babies are stupid for 3 years, but Huamian wasn't stupid at all. In fact, he was very smart. Actually, it's not that hard. I told you that Pudding and Little Bean are girls, so the 4 types of silk are only suitable for them. Ordinary silk isn't good enough for a super rich person like you. I heard about the bright moon blue ripple brocade from the Zhao family of Jiangzhou, so I made a wild guess. Then how did you know it was a cheongsam? Suyu continued to ask. Are you stupid? Are you going to use such expensive brocade to make a handkerchief? Wouldn't that be a waste? Plus, brocade won't look good in other clothes, only cheongsams are suitable. It's not that hard to guess. You don't have to think that I'm so smart, I just made a logical deduction. Okay, you win. I'm impressed, Heroine Hua. Suyu raised his hands in apology, expressing his admiration for Huamian. Wow. Mommy, you're amazing. Little Bean began to flatter her. Didn't you say that you didn't have confidence in me? Huamian held a grudge against Little Bean. Little Bean immediately stuck out her tongue and said, I was just trying to confuse Handsome Sue. Ha! So, Handsome Sue, where are our cheongsams? Pudding reached out her hand expectantly. Suyu looked back at and bring it in. Huamian nodded and walked to the door. He opened the large suitcase and took out 2 china red cheongsams and handed them to Huamian. President Hua, here, help the twins put it on. Wow, so red. Huamian's eyes lit up when he saw the red color. Mommy, hurry, hurry. Put it on for me. I want to look pretty. Little Bean seemed to be very excited and couldn't wait any longer. Come. Don't worry. Granny will help you put it on. Granny Sue will help you too. The 2 elders took the cheongsams from Huamian and took the children to the sofa to change. Suyu added, I had it made according to their height. I don't know if it fits. It shouldn't be a problem. Cheongsams are like dresses. It doesn't matter if it's a little long or a little short. Huamian replied. What do you think? Mommy, am I pretty? Little Bean was the first to change and ran over impatiently. She spun in a circle in front of Huamian to show off. Yes, you're so beautiful. Huamian looked at his daughter in the red cheongsam. She was so cute. While he was looking at Pudding, he was already taking selfies with his phone. Wow, you're so pretty. You look like a China doll. Lady Sue praised. Kids, come here. Let great-grandpa take a look. Lord Su waved his hand impatiently. Huamian was about to turn around and sit down when he heard Suyu say, Mian, yeah. Huamian turned around and looked at Suyu. Chapter 23:17. This is for you. Suyu handed it to Huamian. Huamian looked at the thing in her hand and was a bit surprised. I get one too. Yeah, this color suits you. I thought it matched your aura, so I made one for you. Before Huamian could say anything, Suyu stuffed the dress into Huamian's hands. Then, she walked over. Mom, Dad, Grandpa, Auntie Yang, you guys got gifts too. Suyu continued to give out gifts to everyone. Even Yang Meirong got a silk quilt that was warm in the winter and cool in the summer. The old lady was overjoyed. She turned around and looked at Huamin, who stood there motionlessly. Suyu walked over and patted her on the shoulder. Huamin was startled. Ha! Why are you standing there like an idiot? Go change in the washroom and show my mom and the others. Suyu smiled. Oh, okay. Huamin couldn't refuse, so she took the dress and walked to the washroom. After she changed, she looked at herself in the mirror and still couldn't believe her eyes. It was also a moonlight blue brocade. This one was moon white with a lotus pattern on it, but the color was very light. It looked like an ink painting. It was very simple and elegant, but one could tell it was made of high-quality silk. Most importantly, the size was just right. The moon-white cheongsam showed off Huamin's figure. Her slim waist and white legs that were slightly revealed by the slit at the bottom were enough to make one's imagination run wild. Mr. Qin would probably go crazy if he saw the effect of this. Huamin couldn't even recognize herself as she looked at the woman in the mirror. For a moment, she felt as if she had traveled back in time to the end of the Qin dynasty. It set off Huamin's fresh and refined aura perfectly. When Huamin walked out of the washroom, Little Bean exclaimed, "Wow, is that Mommy? She's so beautiful." Pudding turned around and gave her a thumbs up. "Goddess Hua, you're beautiful." Only after the two little ones finished speaking did everyone turn their heads one after another. Then, they all looked surprised, especially Suyu. In an instant, the look in his eyes changed. "Oh my God, our Mian is so beautiful. This dress suits her so well. It's so elegant," Lady Su praised as she clapped her hands. Yang Meirong also looked at her daughter with a smile. Her eyes were filled with pride, as if she wanted to tell everyone that she had given birth to such an outstanding daughter. "Mian, you have such a good temperament." Master Lord Su praised. "Looks like our ancestors were right, clothes make the man." Mian usually looks delicate and elegant, but in this cheongsam today, she exudes the charm of the ancient times. What a rare sight. Mr. Su praised her in a reserved manner. This made Huamin feel slightly shy. She looked at everyone shyly and smiled. "Kid, you have good taste. I didn't expect you to be so good at buying women's clothes." Master Lord Su teased. Suyu, on the other hand, looked at Huamin in a daze and didn't react. "Handsome Su, Master Lord Su is talking to you," Pudding reminded him in a small voice. Suyu still didn't move, making Huamin feel very awkward. "Hey, handsome Su, stop looking. If you keep looking, you'll never be able to look away. Also, if my daddy finds out that you're looking at her like that, he'll get jealous. He's very scary when he gets jealous. Be careful, he'll beat you up." Little Bean knocked Suyu with her little fist. Only then did he come back to his senses. "Huh? What did you just say?" "Grandpa." Suyu turned around and looked at his grandfather. Chapter 23:18. Upon hearing Suyu's question, the elders all laughed. It was the first time he felt so embarrassed, and his face turned bright red. Huamin also coughed to express his embarrassment. "Handsome Su, can you please not look at my mommy like a wolf looking at a sheep?" Little Bean asked with a smile. Suyu was speechless. "Don't talk nonsense, Little Bean. Don't make fun of your Uncle Su." Huamin stopped her. Suyu, thank you for your gift," Huamin thanked Suyu. "You're welcome. I bought it mainly for Pudding and Little Bean, and I also bought one for you. Suyut scratched the back of his head and answered vaguely. To his surprise, and suddenly interrupted, of course not. Pudding and Little Bean's Chong Sams aren't even half as expensive as President was, shut the fuck up. Suyu immediately turned around and glared at him, not letting him speak. And, how much is mine? Huamin looked at him and asked. Hey, Huamin, is it okay for you to ask like that? Who would ask how much a gift is? It's so rude. Suyu didn't seem to want to tell Huamin the price. We're so close, there's no need to be polite. And, tell me the truth, Huamin continued to ask in. Ahem. Since President Hua asked, just tell him the truth. Suyu kept coughing to remind him. He was afraid that if An told him the truth, Huamin wouldn't dare to ask for it after hearing the price. And was in a dilemma. On one side was President Hua, and on the other side was President Su. They were both his former bosses, and they treated him very well. Most importantly, he had never lied in his entire life. Now that President Su asked him to lie, he didn't know what to do. After 3 seconds of silence, Shaoan said, Huamin, the price of this item is more than 180,000 yuan. Huamin, so expensive. Huamin's eyes darkened slightly. She knew that once Suyu made a move, he would definitely not go easy. It's not expensive at all. Ha, those custom-made evening gowns cost hundreds of thousands. Suyu comforted Huamin with a smile. Huamin did not say anything. Fortunately, she did not directly tell Suyu that she would return the money to him. That would be awkward. Huamin turned around to make tea for Lord Su and the others. He didn't ask about the price anymore. Suyu walked over, pointed at Xiao An's nose, and cursed in a low voice, Do you want to die? Didn't I give you a hint to say less? I was understating it. When I bought it, it cost more than 190,000 yuan. I only said it was 180,000 yuan. Xiaoan said innocently. So you didn't know what to do with Anne's wit. The twins and Huamin's qipao cost nearly 300,000 yuan in total. That was probably more money than an ordinary family could earn in 5 years. Suyu had always been generous, but Huamin rarely accepted gifts from Suyu other than on birthdays. She even often bought expensive gifts for the Su family with Qin Chu. After all, she didn't want to owe Suyu anymore. While drinking tea, Lady Su casually said, Why don't you buy Mian a red qipao too? I, on the other hand, like bright colors. Mom, older people like red, but it's not suitable for her age. She's not a bride, why should she wear red? It's scary, Suyu said casually. Lady Su suddenly thought of something and asked Huamin, Mian, why didn't you and Qin Chu have a wedding? Didn't you guys not go through with the divorce procedures? Logically speaking, you should make up for the wedding from 4 years ago. After all, a wedding is the most important and beautiful experience in a woman's life. Chapter 23:19. Oh, we're all busy right now and don't have time. Let's talk about it later, Huamin said perfunctorily. However, Suyu still saw a hint of disappointment in Huamin's eyes. When the kids grow up and you guys get old, what's the point of having another wedding? Lady Su didn't seem to agree. Mr. Su tried to persuade her, don't worry about it. Their relationship is stronger than anything else. Our parents didn't have a proper wedding when they got married, but they still spent the rest of their lives together. At the mention of this topic, Lord Su nodded. That's right. Your mom and I got married through someone's recommendation. It was a chaotic time and we didn't have enough to eat or warm clothes. There was no wedding. Your mom followed me all the way. It's embarrassing. Lord Su felt bad when he thought of his boss who passed away a few years ago. Hey, let's not talk about such a heavy topic. Let's talk about something more pleasant. Why are you adults making things difficult for yourselves? Little Bean hopped over. Okay, I'll listen to Little Bean. Let's change the topic. Grandpa Su picked up Little Bean and placed her on his lap. What do you want to talk about? Mr. Su teased Little Bean. I just want to ask Grandma Su, when are we going to eat? Little Bean asked pitifully. Everyone burst into laughter. You're such a foodie. Hua-min didn't know what to say about Little Bean. Soon. We'll eat when your dad gets here. Lady Su smiled. Mian, call Hua-min and ask him where he is, Yang Meirong whispered into Hua-min's ear. After all, it wasn't good to make everyone wait for him. Hua-min nodded. Just as he was about to take out his phone, Chin Chu walked in. Sorry, I just finished work. Chin Chu apologized as soon as he walked in. You're not late at all. You came at the right time. Come. Lord Su waved his hand as if he really liked Chin Chu. Chin Chu walked over with an exquisite box in his hand and handed it to Su Yu's father. Uncle, this is a gift from a client. He said that it's been aged for 20 years and is very fragrant. Try it with Grandpa. Oh, really? It's not easy to find 20-year-old wine nowadays, especially this green bamboo leaf. Lord Su's father and Lord Su's grandfather loved drinking wine, especially white wine, so they were very happy. At this moment, Chin Chu glanced at Su Yu. He nodded and greeted him. You're back from your business trip. And, by the way, I brought you some tea leaves from that side. Su Yu finished speaking, picked up a box of exquisite tea leaves and handed it to Chin Chu. Thank you. Chin Chu nodded and thanked him. The two men were very polite to each other, but there was clearly a sense of distance between them. Daddy, look, is my Cheongsam pretty? Little Bean climbed down from Lord Su's lap and began to climb onto her father's lap, continuing to act cute. Yes. Handsome Su bought it for me. Sis has one too. Mommy has one too. Little Bean said nosily to Chin Chu. Chin Chu glanced at Little Bean's Cheongsam, which was the same red color as Little Bean's. Then, he looked up at Hua-min's Cheongsam. He was stunned for a moment before he smiled slightly. It's a very pretty Cheongsam. Aren't you jealous? Little Bean purposely asked her father. Why would I be jealous? Chin Chu hugged Little Bean and asked with a smile. Because your love rival gave it to Mommy. Little Bean's words were especially bold. Hua-min was so tired that he almost choked. Little Bean, that's enough. Hua-min continued to feel awkward. No one knew that he wanted to give Hua-min a grand wedding more than anyone else. However, as long as Hua Xiqin was alive, the wedding wouldn't go smoothly. This was an undeniable fact. Therefore, he would rather postpone the wedding and kill Hua Xiqin first. Chin Chu, let me help you. I noticed that you haven't done anything to Hua Xiqin recently because you're not confident. That bitch Mo Shui did a great job opening the way for us. I think that if the two of us work together, we can kill Hua Xiqin in a matter of minutes. Su Yu remembered the disappointed look on Hua-min's face today. Therefore, he knew that he had crossed the line, but he still forced himself to ask about Chin Chu's wedding. Although he was the one who didn't want to see Chin Chu and Hua-min's wedding. Chapter 23-21. It's not that easy to take down Hua Xiqin. Chin Chu said slowly. Are you that scared of him? To be honest, Suyu was starting to look down on Chin-chu. How could such a powerful man be so scared of a scumbag like Huasiqian? I'm not scared. It's just that Huasiqian's background is complicated. Background? You mean? Suyu wasn't sure about the relationship between Huasiqian and Yin. However, Huamin, Chin-chu, and Rick all understood. Even someone as powerful as Liu Yan was forced to run around the world because of Yin, let alone others. It's complicated. Anyways, Huasiqian is just a puppet. There's a terrifying force behind him. I'm not scared, I just don't want to alert the enemy. I've been looking for an opportunity, so you don't have to worry. I'm not worried about you. You're overthinking it. I just think that Mian really wants a wedding, Suyu said softly. I'll give her a wedding. I'll give her anything she wants. Chin-chu said gently. Suyu nodded. He knew that Chin-chu wasn't someone who would make promises easily. His love for Huamian would only be greater than his love for her. Since Chin-chu had such a plan, then Suyu was overthinking it. After their conversation, the two men returned to the Su family's mansion. After a while, Chin-chu and his family left. Suyu drove his mother back to Sky Blessing Court and then went back to South Hill Manor. Looking at his watch, Suyu saw that it was already 9 p.m. He stood up and picked up his jacket. Son, are you leaving? Lady Su stood up and chased after him, reluctant to let him go. Yeah, I'm going back to the mansion to rest. Suyu rarely stayed at the mansion. You. Lady Su seemed to want to say something but stopped. Mom, do you have something to say? Suyu could tell what his mother was thinking. Lady Su nodded, okay, go ahead. Suyu put his jacket on his shoulders and looked at his mother with a smile. I have a good friend who owns a tea house. Do you know that? Oh, is that Auntie Lee? Suyu vaguely remembered. Yes. She has a niece who just came back from the UK. She's a PhD student at Yale University. She's beautiful, sensible, and well-behaved. Although she's from another city, she's willing to settle down here. I had dinner with your Auntie Lee the other day and saw her. I think. Lady Su didn't finish her words. Suyu put his arm around his mother's shoulder and smiled. Mom, how good you think she is has nothing to do with me. I don't care if she's pretty or sensible. I don't want to get married right now, so don't waste your time, okay? I'm not forcing you to get married. I'm just letting you get to know that girl first and get along as friends. If you have feelings for her in the future, it might develop. Even if you don't have feelings for her, it's good to be friends. You don't have many female friends around you now. It's inevitable that people will gossip about you. Lady Su knew her son's temper, so she didn't want to bring it up. However, there had been too many rumors recently. There were all kinds of rumors in the circle, although they didn't dare to say it in front of her. However, those words would still reach her ears intermittently. The Su family only had one son in this generation. He was in his early 30s, good-looking and rich, but he just didn't want to get married. Therefore, it was inevitable that people would think too much. Although Lady Su wasn't such a vulgar person, as a mother, she still felt uncomfortable when she heard people talk about her son like this. Therefore, she gritted her teeth and planned to talk to her son again. Although she already guessed that there wasn't much hope. Mom, did you hear something from someone? Suyu asked. Chapter 23-22. Don't you know it yourself? Don't blame me for saying it, even if it were someone else's son, I'd think the same. Your grandpa and dad have always had a clean reputation. Now that you're here, you can't make trouble. Mom, I'm not gay. Don't you know who I like? It's not like I don't like women. Suyu felt wronged. It was one thing for others to suspect him, but now even his mother was worried. I know you're not gay, but if you keep thinking about women who don't belong to you, I think you're no different from a homosexual. Lady Su sighed slightly. All right, I know what to do about this matter. I'll go back and investigate where the rumors came from. I'll tell them to stop before they go too far. Your method can only stop them for a while, but it can't solve the root cause. People will talk about it in the future. But my life is my own, not for others to see. Mom, think about it, if I live for others, how tiring would that be? Suyu patiently tried to calm his mother down. Son, let me ask you, how long do you plan to wait? Are you going to be a bystander and watch the four of you live happily ever after? Are you going to be single for the rest of your life? Lady Su looked at her son with concern. No, if I don't meet the right one, I can wait for them to grow up and marry them. That'll be perfect, Suyu joked deliberately. You're just trying to piss me off. Lady Su's face darkened. Okay, I'll stop teasing you. Mom, you don't have to worry about this. I think fate can't be forced. Let nature take its course. Maybe I'll meet a woman in the future and get married in a flash. Love doesn't make sense, just like how I didn't know I would fall so deeply in love with Mion back then. If that's the case, then that's great. Not to mention a flash marriage, even if you get married with a child, I'll agree with both hands. You're so greedy, you want to have a grandson right away. You're so ambitious. Suyu held his mother's face and teased her. Go. Don't make a fuss. If you want to leave, then leave quickly. Lady Su looked at her child. She was both angry and amused. Okay, then I'll leave. You haven't been sleeping well recently, so you should rest early. After a while, I'll take you to the hot spring to recuperate. Suyu finished speaking and turned to leave. Lady Su looked at her son's back and her eyes suddenly became moist. She vaguely recalled the scene of Suyu's childhood. A person's life lasts only one lifetime. In fact, time was the most ruthless thing. Lady Su didn't know how these years had passed so quickly. In the blink of an eye, her son was already 30 years old. People of the same age as him were all married. Wei Liao, who had the best relationship with Suyu, had a son who was already several years old. Although Tang Chuan was absurd, he had never stopped having women around him. The elders of the Tang family had never been so worried about him. Only Suyu was still single. As Lady Su thought about it, tears fell from her eyes. Little Yu, what's wrong? Suyu's father saw that his wife hadn't returned to her room to sleep, so he went downstairs to look for her. He saw Mother Su standing alone in the living room, looking at her son's back as he left. I'm fine. Lady Su's voice was a little choked up. You still say you're fine. Your eyes are red. What's wrong? Why are you crying all of a sudden? Although Father Su had a bad temper and was strict with his teenage son, he was very good to his wife. The couple had been treating each other with respect all these years. Chapter 23-23. Yu's dad, do you think our son will really be single for the rest of his life? Lady Su leaned her head on her husband's shoulder and asked while sobbing. No, he's only in his 30s. Many people don't get married until they're in their 40s. You should know from watching the entertainment news that those directors and actors in the entertainment industry all get married late. You's probably affected by that. Let's not worry. I'm just afraid that in a few decades, we'll all be old and gone. You will be alone in this world without his wife and children. That would be so. No, don't think too much. Mr. Su kept comforting his wife. Su didn't know that his current situation not only made Huamin sad, but also made the Su family's heart ache. He felt that his life was no different from before. Especially after having twins, it was a lot more fun. When Su went home and came out of the shower, he saw the video sent by Little Bean. It's so late. Why aren't you sleeping? Su looked at Little Bean. I can't sleep. Little Bean replied in a childish voice. Why? Are you being bullied by your sister again? Su asked with a smile. Pudding and Little Bean often argued, but every time they quarreled, Pudding would win. So, after being bullied, Little Bean would always complain to Su. No, my sister doesn't have the time to care about me. She only cares about her stock market. She's going crazy. After Little Bean said that, Su couldn't help but laugh. What about you? Do you have any hobbies recently? Su deliberately teased her. Little Bean thought carefully for a long time and replied, Is flirting with Gao Buiyuan considered a hobby? Yes. Su laughed heartily after saying that. Why are you laughing so flirtatiously? Little Bean asked with a straight face. You're so young and already know how to bully people. Good thing I didn't let you go to kindergarten. Otherwise, you'd be in trouble. Wrong. If we go to kindergarten, we'll be bored to death. We won't have anything in common with the other kids. There'll be a generation gap. Little Bean said seriously. Miss Chin Mumu, you're right, Su said respectfully. In that case, let me ask you a question. Other than asking me who's prettier, you can ask me anything else. Su had learned his lesson and eliminated the scariest question. Okay. Then tell me, who's prettier, me or Mommy? Little Bean had an idea and changed the name of her sister to Mommy. Of course it's because you're pretty. Su replied. Why? Little Bean asked. It's simple. It's because you're younger than her. She's almost 30, and you're only 4. 20 years later, you'll be in your prime, and she'll be an old lady. By then, she'll have a face full of wrinkles, a mouth full of fake teeth, and a menopausal temper. It's scary just thinking about it. Su said with a smile. However, he noticed that there was something wrong with Little Bean's expression. Just as he was about to ask what was wrong, Little Bean turned around and yelled, Mommy, why are you here? Su felt like he was struck by lightning. Huamin walked in. She was wearing a long cotton dress, and her long hair flowed down her back. Without saying a word, she walked in front of the camera and glanced at Su. Then, she crossed her arms and smiled at Su. Old lady. Face full of wrinkles. Mouth full of fake teeth. Menopausal temper. Huamin's smile made Su's hair stand on end. Chapter 23-24. It's a misunderstanding. Vice Director Hua, it's all a misunderstanding. Su immediately corrected himself. Su, you've got guts. Have you grown wings? Do you think you can fly if you have a pair of wings? Huamin asked. I can fly even if I don't have wings. I can use a paraglider, Su made up a bunch of nonsense. So, is it really okay for the president of Imperial Star to talk bad about others in the middle of the night? Huamin asked. I was just joking with Little Bean. Don't take it seriously. Su smiled and tried to please Huamian. Yeah, Mommy, I was just joking with handsome Sue. The truth is, Mommy is the prettiest. My sister and I combined can't even compare to Mommy. That's why handsome Sue gave Mommy such an expensive cheongsam. Little Bean might be young, but she was quick-witted. Seeing that Huamian was about to criticize her, she immediately brought up the cheongsam. As the saying goes, gifts blind the eyes. So, Huamian's expression changed when he heard the cheongsam. Don't give her such expensive things in the future. Huamian changed the topic. Suyu immediately let out a sigh of relief. He looked at Little Bean gratefully and replied, "It's not expensive. I'm glad you guys like it. I have so much money that I can't spend it all. Okay, it's getting late. I should let Little Bean go to bed. You should rest early too." Okay. Suyu nodded, but he didn't have the heart to press the end button. Huamian leaned down and hung up the video call. The last shot was of her standing close to the camera. Her long hair was draped over her shoulders, and her face was clean and pretty without makeup. Suyu's heart raced at that moment. It turned out that after 4 years, Huamian was still the only one who could move his heart. Suyu took off his bathrobe and lay down on the spacious bed. He sighed slightly. Li Jian's "When You're Old" was playing on the phone. At this moment, he actually felt a tranquility in his heart that he had never felt before. When you are old and unable to walk, warm yourself by the fire and remember your youth. How many have loved your youthful days, and admired your beauty, false or true? Only one still loves your devout soul, and the wrinkles on your old face. Accompanied by such beautiful lyrics, Suyu imagined that 20 years later, Huamian would be old. She was close to 50 years old, and there was a frown on her face. She was no longer youthful. He thought that he would still love her like this, because what he loved in the first place was not her appearance. As she thought about it, she no longer felt sleepy. She picked up her phone and called Tang Chuan. "Come out for a drink." "Ah. Drink? That won't do. It's a little inconvenient for me right now." "What's so inconvenient about it? Is your period here?" Suyu deliberately slandered him. "No, it's my grandaunt. She's at my house." "Grandaunt? Qin Ning is there?" Suyu immediately reacted. "Yeah, ha." Tang Chuan smiled proudly. "What's up with you? Are you going to cook the rice tonight?" Suyu laughed and teased. "Little Chuan, what are you doing? Come and help me." Qin Ning's voice came from the other end of the phone. "Okay, coming." After speaking, Tang Chuan lowered his voice and laughed. "Hee, Lord Su, I'm hanging up now. Go, take it easy. Don't shoot me, fuck you." Tang Chuan laughed and cursed at Suyu before hanging up. Chapter 23-25. Tang Chuan ran into the kitchen and asked, "What's wrong, madam?" Qin Ning pointed at the oil in the pot. "Help me turn off the fire. It's too scary." "So this is your first time cooking?" Tang Chuan looked at the black dough in the frying pan and rubbed his ears helplessly. 10 minutes ago, Qin Ning said she was going to make him fried noodles, and then, this happened. "Yeah," Qin Ning said confidently. "So you're going to experiment on my house?" Tang Chuan was dumbfounded. "Yeah," Tang Chuan was speechless. "What? Can't I?" Of course, but..." Tang Chuan wanted to say something but stopped. "Stop talking nonsense. Hurry up and put out the fire. It's going to explode." Qin Ning looked at the mess in the pot and hid far away. Tang Chuan quickly turned off the gas stove. Oh my god, don't ever come into the kitchen again. Tang Chuan pushed Qin Ning out of the kitchen. But aren't you hungry? I was just being nice and wanted to make you something to eat. Qin Ning felt wronged. No, I'm not hungry anymore. You don't have to do this. Come on, sit and eat an apple. Tang Chuan picked up an apple from the coffee table and stuffed it into Qin Ning's hand. That night, the two went to the arcade. After having fun, Qin Ning asked to come to his house. Tang Chuan thought she was going to do it with him. However, after she came in, she looked around and evaluated his house. In the end, she concluded that Tang Chuan's house was well decorated. It was tasteful and clean. The most important thing was that there were no women's personal items, such as underwear, long hair, lipstick, facial cleanser, etc. Qin Ning was very satisfied. It seemed that Tang Chuan wasn't as unreliable as the rumors said. I'm not eating anymore. It's late. I should go. Qin Ning put down the apple and got up. You're leaving already. Tang Chuan didn't want her to go. What else? Why should I stay? Qin Ning asked. No, that's not what I meant. What I meant was. Actually, it's already so late. If you want to stay, there are many guest rooms in my house. I won't do anything to you, right? Men always use that as an excuse. My little bean said that you can't trust men's words. Many men say that they just want to hug you to sleep, but look what happened in the end. In the end, they still went overboard. There were even some who were even more shameless and said that they wouldn't go in and would just leave it at the door. What happened in the end? In the end, he still ate the girl, so, don't try to lie to me. Tang Chuan almost blushed when he heard Qin Ning's bold words. Great aunt, are you talking dirty to me? What are you talking about? I'm trying to reason with you. Yes. You're right. But did you really hear this from Little Bean? Is that your niece? Yes, Little Bean knows a lot. What she says makes a lot of sense. Qin Ning said confidently. In the future, I think you should stay away from Little Bean. Chapter 23-26. When are you going back to the States? Qin Chu glanced at her and asked. Are you trying to kick me out? Qin Ning pouted. Huamin couldn't help but chuckle as he listened to the conversation between Qin Ning and Qin Ning. Don't interrupt me. You know what I mean. Your dad already called me. If you don't go back now, he'll be here, huh? Really? Qin Ning immediately put down the half-eaten sandwich in her hand. When have I ever lied to you? Then what should I do? How about I book a plane ticket for you and you go back first? The headquarters are very busy. Qin Chu said. Qin Ning seemed to be in a difficult position and didn't say anything. Huamin glanced at Qin Chu and then at Qin Ning. Ning, are you dating Tang Chuan now? Sis-in-law, I. Qin Ning wanted to admit it, but she was too embarrassed to say it. It's okay. You're an adult. It's not embarrassing. Yeah, we're officially dating. Qin Ning lowered her head and blushed. Then have you thought about what you're going to do in the future? Are you not going to go back? What are you going to tell your dad? Huamin asked for his husband. My dad. He always wants Tang Chuan to marry into his family. I don't think it's fair to him. I don't want that. Qin Ning was conflicted. Don't worry about it. If you think you and Tang Chuan get along, your brother and I will help you, Huamin comforted Qin Ning. Thank you, sis-in-law. Qi Ning looked at Huamin gratefully. Honey, let's not force Ning Ning. She's in a difficult position. Second uncle is on the phone, so let's keep it a secret. Let's give her and Tang Chuan more chances to get to know each other and know what to do in the future. It won't drag on for long. Qin Chu didn't agree with his wife. Brother, sister-in-law, don't talk about it anymore. I'll call my dad in a while and talk to him personally. Okay, it's best if you play it yourself. But don't be too optimistic about your father's temper. Qin Chu warned his sister. After breakfast, Qin Chu and Huamin went out together and headed to the parking lot. Honey, is it really okay for you to make things difficult for Ningning so early in the morning? I think she and Tang Chuan are in the honeymoon period. I'm not trying to make things difficult for her. I'm trying to give her a heads up. She can't always be immersed in unrealistic things. Besides, if Tang Chuan really cares, he might be willing to make some concessions for her. Qin Chu analyzed. Huamin nodded in agreement. After all, Tang Chuan seemed to like Qin Ning a lot. I'll drive you to South Side. Qin Chu held Huamin's hand affectionately. It's okay. You usually send people to protect me. You don't have to drive me yourself. I'm not a kid anymore. Huamin smiled. I've been feeling uneasy lately. I don't know what's wrong. Qin Chu frowned slightly. Are you feeling unwell? Huamin asked worriedly. Qin Chu shook his head. No, I just have a bad feeling. That's why I'm worried about you. I'll send more people to protect you. You should be careful too. Also, don't come into direct contact with Hua Xiqian, Qin Chu warned Huamin cautiously. Okay, I know. Huamin nodded. As for Pudding and Little Bean, I'll also limit the number of times they go out. They have to be careful. My instincts are always accurate. I don't want anything to happen to our family, Qin Chu added. Is it that serious? Huamin wondered if her husband was making a mountain out of a molehill and was too worried about her and the kids. Jakarta, the capital of Indonesia, sir, the plane is ready. It'll take off in 15 minutes. Should we inform Mr. Hua in advance? No, I want to give him a surprise. Then, the corners of his mouth curled up strangely. Chapter 23-27. 6:30 p.m. in a luxurious shopping mall. Uncle Shin, I'm hungry. I want fruit pizza, little Tian Tian said in her baby voice. Shin Mingxi held her little hand and doted on her. Good girl, we'll wait for mommy here. She went to the washroom and will be back soon. We'll go when she comes back, okay? Okay. Little Tian Tian nodded obediently. People who didn't know better would think that they were father and daughter. Although the man looked young, the way he looked at the child was obviously a father's love for his daughter. Not far away, two women were shopping when they saw this scene. One of them pulled the other woman's arm. Ying, look, who's that? Reminded by her friend, Wei Ying looked up and her expression changed drastically. Although they had been divorced for months, Wei Ying's heart still felt like it was being overturned when she saw Shin Mingxi. Ying, is that little girl the daughter of that bitch Hui Yanyan? Her friend gritted her teeth and cursed. Yes. Wei Ying had investigated Hui Yanyan's situation and had seen the child many times. She could tell at a glance that it was Hui Yanyan's child. But, why is young Master Shin so nice to that child? I have a wild guess. Could that child be Hui Yanyan and young Master Shin's child? You've been in the dark all this time. Wei Ying's face was livid as she shook her head. That's impossible. If that child was his, the Shin family would have done something already. That's strange. If she's not his child, why is he so nice to her? The woman next to her couldn't figure it out. Wei Ying looked at the woman and the child not far away, feeling bitter and unwilling to give up. Ying, let's go. Her friend knew that Wei Ying couldn't let go of her ex-husband and didn't want to provoke her further. However, Wei Ying strode towards them. Hey, Ying, what are you doing? Her friend followed closely behind Wei Ying. Young Master Shin, long time no see. Wei Ying pretended to be calm and generous as she greeted Shin Mingxi. Shin Mingxi looked up. When he saw that it was Wei Ying, the warmth in his eyes turned cold. That kind of disgust that was emitted could be seen at a glance by others. What's the matter? No one could compare to Shin Mingxi's cold demeanor. In this world, only Rick and Qin Chu were colder than him. What? Can't you just say hello? After all, we used to be husband and wife. We're not enemies now. Wei Ying looked at him with a faint smile. Uncle Shin. I'm scared. Little Tian Tian had seen Wei Ying pick on Hui Yanyan several times before. Therefore, she was traumatized by Wei Ying and retreated in fright when she saw her. Tian Tian, don't be afraid. Uncle Shen is here. Shen Mingxi comforted the little girl patiently. Wow. Young Master Shin, you're so lucky these days. Buy one, get one free. You don't have to get pregnant and you're already a father. Congratulations. But being a stepfather isn't easy. Most importantly, you have to raise someone else's child. Not only is it a waste of time and money, but when the child grows up, she'll be an ingrate. When the child goes back to her biological father, you'll be nothing. It'll be too late for you to regret it then. I'm just reminding you out of kindness. Wei Ying's words were always vicious. After she finished speaking, Shen Mingxi's face darkened. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.